Hello, everybody. Welcome to Behold This Crit, where we throw dice at the table and hopefully not each other. But this is a little bit different than our usual Behold This Crit, because this is a very special edition of Behold This Crit. It's more like Behold This Crit. Like, instead of Behold, it's like Behold, kind of like different, because something's different is going on, where we're going to actually have David DM. Ta-da!
Oh!
Wow! So, the Forever
there's
DM...
an accent over the E. Okay.
There's an accent. Behold! This crit! Yes!
Behold!
The Forever DM finally gets to play. David offered to do a Westmarch style campaign.
Yep.
I know that we have a bunch of different dates coming up that we're going to be unavailable to play, so we're going to start pre-recording some of these guys, so we'll have some stuff to put out for you guys to watch, all two of you. But either way, we're just going to go ahead. I don't know, David, if you have any sort of, background or anything you want to go through before we get into the actual game or what, but I'll just throw it at you and we'll go from there.
I just want to make sure that my spooky music's good. That's a little too spooky, I think.
That's Syrinscape that we can hear, which is fantastic for not just one game, but even multiple games, such as what we have here. Syrinscape, go get it. It's great.
Syrinscape.com / question mark, the number 4 nerds.
The year is 1840. In a world not too far alike from our own. London. Well, at least a London is where our story is going to be taking place today. How the city smiles upon us in the summer light. But when the darkness comes and what bumps in the night is vastly unknown. In fact, a lot of the occult and arcane world is unknown to the majority of the population. You four, however, are in the know. You four are a part of MIRD. Mortis es Requiem Die, an occult organization investigating... an occult investigation organization. Everything from the hells to abyssal creatures to things that are unknown to the human eye. We start a little bit closer, though, in a small headquarters under Big Ben. Well, the creation of Big Ben right now. Get a little bit more intense. You four have been sent out, not necessarily, you four have been sent out new letters of employment. Already being part of the organization for whatever reason it may be of your own. We'll come to that eventually. Have accepted these contracts. All you know at this point, before going to the warden or the lead, is that... Is there two at once? The contract has to do something along the lines of a possible shapeshifter or presence of a shapeshift. It's unknown. The letter was incredibly vague for what seems to be security reason. It claims that a separate organization known as SOD. This is almost like your counterpart, but for the crown. Seems to have interest in this one. So, you four had been called into the headquarters to meet the warden. First, let's go ahead and roll and see who walks on into the offices first. Sound good?
Sure. Can I just get, it was MIRD?
MIRD.
And SOD?
SOD, yes.
Like
So MIRD, it is Mortis es Requiem Die, which is MIRD, the organization you're part of.
Mortis es Requiem?
Here, I can
In
post.
character, are we supposed to know what that means, or is that just a
It's just a fancy abbreviation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but what it actually means in Latin, has no actual bearing on the game? Like I said, is that a Brandon thing? Or is
To a
that just
point, if you understand
Okay.
Latin, yes and no. It's just more of flavor.
Nerd.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you
Big ol'
understand
nerd.
Latin, that's good. That's pretty.
Gotcha.
Yep. I mean,
Yep, already
if
got
you
you.
understand it, then you get the gist of what's going on.
Got him. Okay. No worries.
Spoilers.
Would you like to share
jeez.
with the
No,
rest of the class?
that's okay. That's okay. If you understand it, then you understand it.
The
And
music
then the
died, by
other
the way.
Let me know.
organization is SOD, SSOD, Secret
SS.
Service Occult Division. SSOD, Secret Service Occult Division of London, but it doesn't say of London in the name.
The music died, by the way.
Yep, it's going back up now.
All right. Mortis us?
Here, you want to paste?
No, I just.
MORTUUSESTREGN.
Est. All right,
Yes.
got it. I thought it was us. Okay, never mind. We're good.
All right.
Sorry.
You see, this is why I don't take notes.
We'll go ahead and roll off. 1 through 4 going down the list. Lee replaces my spot. So we have 3. Lee. First to walk in.
Oh, I thought-
Walking into the headquarters, you go directly past the rest of the staff and everybody else who's part of the organization, seeing familiar faces, different bounty hunters and such. Most people here seem to be privately contracted, not necessarily part of the organization like you are. Walking through, you find your way to the main door and you open it up into the warden's office. You see a familiar figure standing there. Short, stout human with long, greasy hair behind a big oak desk. Cass, would you like to describe yourself as you walk into the warden's office?
Sure. I am a 5'8"-ish ballpark male Kalashtar wizard. So pretty much just looked like an elf, really, just a relatively standard size, a little bit shorter than standard size elf. He's got like kind of like a little bit down, brown hair down to his ears, a little bit cropped back, kind of like think Matthew Mercer style kind of hair set, just pulled back and almost feathered back almost. And his long like ears, and he's got a really nice kind of like bound leather journal in one hand, and kind of just like standard robes that cover the rest of him. But yeah.
All right. So, Cass, across from the
Hi.
warden, let me get the name again. Warden Glan, Fafraf, Glan.
Okay.
You
Fafaras.
see sitting, Fafraf, Glan. You see sitting across, already sitting down. One,
Spelling on Fafref.
Eloise. You are already sitting in the chair, ready to go. It is Fearaf. Fafraf. And then Glan. Glan. Would you like to describe yourself?
Oh,
Eloise?
sure. So Eloise is a fairly basic, average to, fair-skinned female human, wearing some fairly simple but still slightly upper class, a little bit more detail, full Victorian dress with little hat to match as well on the top of her very large, messy, fairly messy bun. But there are some curls that are put in that clearly was just put in there to try to spruce up her current attire. Keeps a very even, straight face and moves very carefully. So as this person enters, does not get up from her chair, but rather just kind of shifts her whole body to just politely nod and acknowledge the individual walking in.
So, as you walk in across the table, you see Warden Glenn. He goes, "Oh, how you doing, Cass? Come on down. Come take a seat. We're getting ready for the operation. I was just filling in Eloise. Go ahead and take a seat across. We'll make sure. We got, I think, hold on, let me check my papers here." He fumbles through them. 2 more coming, 2 more. We only got 1 more chair, but it'll do. Go on, take a seat.
You have to open it with that. Thanks. I'll sit down.
Okay. So I was just telling Eloise here about the case. It's been a little interesting here. We've got an officer in the hospital right now in the coma, as well as some sort of scientist claiming that he was attacked in the cafe. It's not really all precise. Before we get into it, anybody got questions? I don't want to go too diving. You know how I am. I don't like to spew once, so I'm gonna keep it straight. Once everybody else gets here, I'll tell the rest of the story. Sound good?
Sounds perfectly acceptable.
Right.
All right then. Other than that, did you guys got the gist? All right.
Got something.
All right. We're good. Let's
Done got something out of that.
We'll go ahead and roll and see who the next one coming in is. Next one is going to be Chauncey, and then shortly after,
Hello.
Chauncey, as you go ahead and open the door, you see, loudly speaking as always, Warden Glenn talking to possibly familiar faces. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So Chauncey is a 5'11" human boy, ranger. So he would be wearing a lot of green, long green cloak with a hood. But the trim is all gold. Mostly hidden underneath is his longbow that he likes to use. But what stands out mostly about what he's wearing, at least, or what he's carrying, is what looks to be a simple walking cane with a large red ruby on the top. He is older, meaning he's got a salt and peppered hair, well coiffed, pulled back, very well coiffed and well trimmed beard as well. He would currently be wearing spectacles on his face as well. Slightly slimmer build, right? So he's a ranger. He's a little dex boy, so he's a little faster, a little more sneaky. That's about him.
All right. You walk on in, and as you do so, you see Glenn, and he quiets himself and goes, "Oh, all right." Everybody seems to be, "Oh, Chauncey, how you doing? We got 1 chair left, my guy. Go ahead and take a seat. Whoever the last guy is, I guess he's a spoiled egg."
I'm fine, but thank you.
All right, I'm sure, whatever you want to do. We got 1 more coming, and as he says that, the door opens, and you see Ollie. Would you like to describe yourself, Ollie?
Alright, so Ollie's gonna walk in, and he is going to look like the man sitting behind the desk.
Okay.
But probably just a little bit cross-eyed when he sees that there's only 1 chair. Or there's no more chair.
Is that me? That's one beautiful motherfucker. I'll tell you what.
I think you're the imposter.
Trying to be some sort of funny guy here. Look at you, though. If it was just us 2 in this room, you're like, hey, go ahead and take the last seat.
Maybe not. Just I'll drop it. That's okay.
How you doing, Ollie?
All right. And when I drop it, I'll like have a hood and I'll throw back, and I'll have and I'm a wood elf, so I got the pointy ears. And mostly nondescript, just wearing a long cloak.
All right.
I'll just grab the chair.
I'm gonna turn to Eloise and be like,
Just like put a hand up to try to cover the fact that I'm desperately trying not to bust out laughing at this.
All right, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, do I have the job for you? And at this point, he pulls out it's a fairly decent-sized document. And he opens it up and splits it out into 4, and he slides out 4 different documents to you guys. I don't have a handout, so we're just gonna talk about what it is. So, basically, when the Bobbies rolled up, it seemed they were saying it was some sort of smash and grab. You know, keep it simple, keep it under the rugs, don't let anybody else or the populace know. But this took place at Amjoli's, which is, it's a little bit of a weirder place. And you four kind of recognize the name. Amjoli's, it's a family business, but that's a name of a woman now running the business. It's a cafe grocer type of place. Weird things happen there. It's kind of known for being a weird kind of in-between for, the locals and the people that, know of the occult. So, once the Bobbies got away and they put it down as a, smash and grab and just a little bit of a rough up, Jolie and, the scientist guy decided to call up us. So we started building a case. Right now, we got some sort of shapeshifter or bloodhound or some sort of spirit that's either coming after people who understand whatever's going on with this doctor and Jamoli, Anjoli's. It's a little weird. Right now, like I said, we have an officer and we have a scientist. The officer is in a coma in the hospital right now, unlikely to recover. We'll see what happens. And as he does that, he takes out a sending stone and a secondary one. He slides one across the table. Somebody will need that. If we have updates, I'll be sure to send it on down the line. Dr. Neely was his name. Dr. Yan Neely. He lives off on the west side of London in a nicer part of the city. Lives with his wife, his kids, and he doesn't seem to believe that it was necessarily just a random attack of, a roaming beast or something like that. A rift opened up and who knows. It just roaming around. He doesn't believe that. He thinks this was more of a targeted attack. He thinks, whatever this beast was coming after him for his research. He won't really go much more into depth besides that. Says he wants to speak to people in person. I understand that. Secondarily, there's Aunt Jolie. Of course, the woman of the business, she was there, she witnessed the whole thing. She claims she saw the beast jump through the window, jumps down on originally on what seemed to be Dr. Neely. And then jumped again after this officer had stood up and tried to rip this beast off. It is when it, wounded him and put him in the coma. At that point, and Jolie and the doctor kind of ran off and they got into the back room and hid, and the beast ran away. So the fact that it went after directly the doctor is why we believe it might have been a targeted assault. We're not sure. So, right now, as far as I see it, we have three options, or at least you four have three options. You could, 1, go to Anjoli, speak to yourself, see the scene of the crime. It just happened last night. Everything's still rolled up, and we got the rest of my units keeping it quiet with the Bobbies. You could go to Dr. Neely's, see his house, see what he has to say. Maybe he's got something about his research, I'm not sure. Or if you really want, you could always go to the hospital and investigate and see what the doctor's got to do, but, he's... doesn't seem like he's going to be waking up anytime, or the officer, sorry. 3 options.
Right.
Any questions?
When do we get paid?
I do have a question. The wounds
Paid
on
always.
the unfortunate man in the coma,
Yeah.
were they purely mental, or were they, in fact, physical as well?
Well, and he pulls out his document. He opens it up and he starts flipping through and he goes, if you go ahead and open up your documents, we got a couple of photos going on here. He flips through it. Photos are a thing in 1840, just putting it out there. He flips through it. If you look here, and the first one, it's just a picture of the man's torso. And it is physical mark of a claw directly ripping across his bicep, and it seems to be 3 to 4 claws going directly through. And then over on his neck, there's a large black swelling under the epidermal layer of skin. So it's not bruising, it's under it. He points it out and he goes, this is a little weird. Physical, yes. anything out of nature in terms of mental. It could be. We're not really sure. It's not my specialty. If he's not dead, we can't really do, an autopsy on him. So right now the doctors are just trying to figure out what's going on. First thing in the hospital is keep him alive,
Unfortunate.
And we're looking at the officer right now.
Mm-hmm. There's 3 pictures. The one that he just pointed out is one with his chest. There's another one of the, blood on the ground of the window where the officer was. There's one mark of blood, and the third one is a mark of blood on the other chair where the doctor was. So it's like a pool, and then just like a splash, and then his physical markings. Other than that, he had no other physical markings.
You said there was a portal.
Pardon?
Was there a portal? You mentioned a portal.
Puddle of blood.
No, portal. Beast came through portal, or no?
Oh, no. We don't think it was anything like a rampant imp or anything just coming through. We don't think a rift opened or popped in. It was just random. We think this was a targeted attack. We don't think something just popped up. That's what I was saying.
And which way did the beast come from then? Through the window?
Well, I'm not really sure. I haven't been down to the scene of the crime. If you wanted to find out, you'd have to go down and see that. I'm sure Jolie could tell you the rest.
And the officer now is in a coma.
Seems to be, yeah.
Have you used any magics to see if you could figure out what may have attacked him?
Well, right now we don't have custody of him, unfortunately, because he is an officer of London. He's under assault, so we don't have any sort of way to go after and talk to him or do any magical effects on him. So right now, the great city of London is trying to use natural remedies of healing.
Got it. So you're telling me that I cannot go to the hospital and attempt to read his last thoughts before his...
Oh, you totally... whenever you do it, if that works, if you can go in there and do it, that works. I don't know if there's gonna be any people from Sod there trying to keep that away. I mean, Sod knows it's just gonna be trying to keep it out of the public eye. If you go in there and you sleep it through, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. Nobody
Right,
sees.
you're not gonna say anything, but would others say something?
You know the rules. As long as anybody that's not Smurd or Sod sees anything that's magical or occult, that's bad. Murder Sod's fine to see.
Right, well, I know where I want to go.
Give you some time to think about it, but for now, if you need any equipment or anything, go down to the armory. See if you need to buy anything else up. Potions, anything. Other than that, Note said bring your own equipment, so you should have everything else yourself. Good luck and get the fuck out of my office.
I'll shapeshift into him again, but it's my office.
Thanks, Furfler.
It's our office.
Right, I'm leaving now.
Oh, also, being the senior officer here, I'm gonna go ahead and put Eloise in charge of this operation. All right?
I do believe he just told us your age.
Doesn't have to do with age. It has to do with time with Murd. Now get the fuck out! Go!
And I never get to be in charge, except the one time. that went bad.
Yeah, bad luck.
So
Take a
eventually he physically shoves
sending stone.
himself out of his office. You take the sending stone. What would you four like to do?
I give the sending stone to Kess. Is that what your name was?
Yes.
Kess.
Okay. Is this just for communication with Furfler? I'm trying to say I don't need this, is what I'm saying.
Oh, well,
Alright.
all right.
I can communicate across the worlds, unlike some people I once knew. Maybe in another campaign. But
That's very dark and mysterious. I don't understand what you're referring to. I'll take back the
I don't
stepping
need the
stone.
stone.
Yeah, the book ones are always weird.
Yeah, I think he's already got the spell. I could take it if you need.
Sure. By all means. Well, I'm not 100% sure why I was put in charge of this, and I don't really appreciate that remark about my age, but regardless. If there is a way for you to be able to understand a man's last moments, then I think that heading towards the hospital is probably going to be the best bet, but we should definitely make a point to go to the crime scene as well.
Well, my thoughts are that comas generally tend to last a decent amount of time. So realistically, it's not like we're on a time crunch to go see him. I could always see what I could find out today, tomorrow, the next. Do we want to see what we can figure out from him before we go to the crime scene? See if we can find something else out that we may not know if we go first? Or do we want to go to the crime scene, seeming as how it's more of a time-sensitive manner? I
vote going to the crime scene first, and then talking to the doctor. And to your point, I think we go to the man in the coma last.
Right. All right. And you,
Ollie.
you with what?
Ollie.
Holly.
Which you? There's 3 of us here.
Right.
Yeah.
Said Ollie.
What do you think?
I think that we should go with whatever you guys want to do, because I'll be ready for a fight, but there's always a fight in these things. It's always a fight.
Right.
Well,
So he
perhaps you
abstains.
best keep your weapons at bay for now. We're not trying to cause a scene right off the bat.
Yeah, but usually the other things don't care about that.
She has a point. Well, I believe
What was
that's
the vote?
2 votes for the crime scene, 1 abstain, and then I just go and abstain with you. So we're going to the crime scene, it seems.
All right. Off we go.
All right, so reading through your journals and going through the report, crime scene seems to be on the northeastern side of London, which is the complete opposite side of where Dr. Neely is located. Not
I
necessarily.
certainly hope we can get a carriage or something, because I'm not going to be able to walk the whole way. You notice that Eloise walks extremely slow, steps very, very carefully. Like, it's ladies take a little bit longer to walk regardless in this time era, but she is especially
It's probably
slow.
about an hour walk.
Absolutely not. There's no way we have to take a carriage. It will be nightfall by the time I get there.
Right. I mean, realistically, I could make it easier for you.
I
If
can
we
also
can't
make it
find
easier for you.
Carriage, but
You're both very vague with your responses. I don't 100% know what
Actually,
you really
how
mean.
probably
how
not the best
familiar are you
idea.
with spells?
What?
How familiar are you with spells?
Oh, I'm fairly familiar.
Well, do you know the spell haste? I could put that upon you.
Oh, I don't know if that would be a wise decision.
Wait, let's not get too hasty here. That could be a
Do it.
very wise
Do it.
decision.
Do
On the other hand,
Thank you, Treebeard.
I could, I could simply
him.
cast a invisible carriage, essentially, should you need it.
Well, that might bring a little bit of attention to us if we're
Ah!
walking down the street.
I'll be fine.
For
we could
someone who
also
supposedly-
get a carriage rather than try and do all of this fancy stuff.
Let's save our spells for when they're actually needed, shall we? I'll try to wave down a carriage.
Okay, you do so. So,
My
walking out
gloved
of
hand.
the
Yoo-hoo!
underbelly.
Excuse me, young man.
Young man!
Young mom!
I look over to Chauncey and say, "You're crossing the street with her."
It's fair.
Coming up from the underbelly of Big Ben by the riverside, you exit the city undergrounds and find eventually a carriage, waving it down, finding ferry and passage to the northeastern side of London. carriage comes on through. You see a pretty tall, darker skinned human, tanned out with blonde hair, and goes, "Oi, what can I do for you?"
Are we already there?
Yeah, we're headed to Anjoli's. Could you give us a ride?
Okay. Let me see what we got going on papers. Flips through it. Went back to the other voice. Yeah, it's going to be about 15 silver.
That's fine. I could manage that.
Is-
really all I've got is gold. Does anyone else have silver?
Is that an average price for something?
Insight check.
Sure. I rolled a natural 2. So
Seems pretty good. Seems like a good bargain.
Seems about right.
Right. Okay. Cool.
How much is a carriage ride these days?
What, 200 gold? Who knows?
I think this is a
Gold,
great
right?
price.
Yeah. You've got
That's
to
like
deal,
one
my
of the-
man.
Well, 15. All 4. Who's paying?
I hand him a gold.
5 more.
I mean, I'll hand him a gold too.
Fine. Insist on change. And he reaches into his bag.
No. Keep it as tip.
He continues to pull out change, pulls out 3 silver, and gives you guys 3
Tell you
silver
what.
back.
Why don't you hang around at Julie's, wherever we're going, and
Anjoli's.
Jolie's, if you'll stay there and wait for us, I'll give you an extra 2 gold right now. Just to ensure we have another trip back.
For 6 gold, I'll be a driver for the day.
How about 4 gold?
I mean, that's what you offer me to stay. 5 gold. I'll do it for 5.
We offer 2 to stay and then 2 more for the rest of the day. I feel like that's a good bargain. Total of 4.
Fine. We'll do that.
All right, I'll give him.
All right, everybody pay up.
I'll give him 3 gold, and
Come
I guess
on.
Chauncey will give him.
I'll throw in another. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do so, and eventually you guys jump into the back of the carriage, and it's not nice. It's an
Not
inside.
nice.
Damn
It's
it!
it's it's a
It
coach
was
wagon.
not worth it.
Hoisted
So,
by our
like,
own petard.
1800s coach wagon. Kind of
It's
Victorian
about
London.
bullshit.
Yeah, it's a little crappy, but to be fair, the city's not exactly in the great condition right now anyways. Looking outside the windows as you guys go towards Aunt Jolie's, you see that this storm, a storm that had been brewing for the past 2-3 days, kind of weirdly staying for a while, seems to be getting more sweltering, and eventually rain starts to come down. And it's almost a torrential downpour by the time you guys get to Aunt Jolie's, with heavy winds and, dark skies.
Well, I'm glad we took a carriage.
Can I make some sort of nature check or perception to see if that's natural?
Yeah, go ahead and make a nature check.
14.
It's not super crazy for this time of year to have really long storms and for it to be dreary for a long time. So, it's not entirely out of place. What is going on with this music?
It's
There we go.
very low, but I'm just adjusting it as we go.
So, you guys go ahead and step out of the carriage, and you 4 enter, and
Eloise
Walk.
does not step out of the carriage. She is last to get out of the carriage and actually closes the door back behind her. And then after a moment, opens it up again, and you see that she's holding a metal umbrella that she pushes open to a large circular umbrella that she holds above her head.
I don't. Metal conducts the electricity.
Well, I suppose normal metal would.
Fair enough.
Right.
Let's go in, shall we?
Woman who can't walk with a magical electric umbrella. Fantastic.
I knew a woman like that. Her name was Mary.
You must
What?
get around a lot, Chauncey.
I don't appreciate this kind of talk in my presence.
Seen
I
a few
very
things.
slowly walk away.
So, walking towards Amjoli's. It's on a direct corner of not necessarily a busy side of London, but there are, some people on the streets. But as you round the corner, coming around the left, the first thing you see on this old kind of wooden and shackled building is through the first pane of glass, you can see inside a completely shattered window and what seems to be a torn and thrashed chair and table kind of thrown about. As you round about and turn to your left and come around, you now see and face the entire glass window front of the store, which seems to be about 20 to 30 feet long of glass. And on the inside are different chairs and tables, and one large pane is shattered with blood around the pane in the jagged glass. And down below you can see what seems to be the stain of cleaned up and mopped blood where the photo was taken. Shattered things of glass all over the side, and as you walk towards, there is a MURD organization member there with a SOD organization member there, keeping kind of control of the public, not to keep interest. And as you walk up, you see a man in the MURD uniform, and he sees you guys kind of rounding about, and he goes, "Oh, how you all doing?
Quite well,
All right.
him.
Ready for the case? This one's a little bit of a unique one. Follow me."
They all are.
Fold up my metal umbrella.
Which side of the window was the broken glass on?
What do you mean?
Like, was
So
it
here, I
broken
actually
coming
have-
in or
I
broken
actually
coming
do
out?
have a map just so you guys can visualize.
That's not foreboding.
Yeah, I think the idea was the glass on the inside or on the outside? Did it jump?
Yes. So if
through
you
from
look,
the out?
I'll do a quick draw to show you. There's glass going along like this.
You need
And
to
right
swap us
about-
to the other thing. We don't see it.
Did you not get swapped?
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
see the brown line.
Oh, I only see. Oh,
No,
there
I
we go.
just
Now
didn't
I'm
swap
swapping.
you.
Okay.
And then the glass break is like here.
Okay, so it
All
jumped in through the window.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Sorry, as you work.
All right.
As you would.
Carry on.
So he leads you through the
Hello?
front door, and you guys go ahead in, and sitting at the kind of countertop by that weird corner there, leaning up against it and kind of eating an apple, you see a fatigued younger female. She's dressed very drably in gray and kind of coverall, almost type of canvas-like made clothing. You know what I mean? Messy red hair, kind of spiked out, almost like that lady from Brave. And she's sitting there eating an apple, trying to just kind of relay as the officer from MURD walks you guys on up. He goes, "Oh, all right, Jolie, these guys from the organization, he's gonna, whatever." And he just turns around and walks away. He's not having the best day right now, having to deal with a SOD member. So he
Oh.
goes on back out and puts
So
him on
she
the
is the SOD member?
No. There's a secondary SOD member outside.
Got it. Okay, and she's a third just person. All right.
Yeah, I think she was one of the ones hiding in the back room. Or is she a morph agent?
Here, hold
Murd?
on. No, she's just the lady that runs the place.
Alright.
This is as long as it doesn't.
This is
make a
Anjoli.
tea.
And Jolie.
Yeah. Let's go find a lady.
Have you heard of Anjoli's? It's a great
There we go.
grocer and butcher. It's funny that your name's Anjoli.
So
There you guys
just to
go.
clarify, we are or we are not allowed to use magic when the other people are also around.
You can.
Mhm.
So basically, the rules of Murd are like you can, just don't get caught, right? Murd or Sod, you're all bars. Go for it, right? You can go whatever, do whatever you want. You know, pedal to the metal. If you're in the public, you gotta keep it discreet, keep it anything like that. If anybody sees, it's big business.
Okay.
It needs to be dealt with. There are people that know. Like mentioned before, you guys are aware that Amjoli's is a little bit more of a sinister type of place in terms of, you know, dealing with the occult. So, as you guys walk in, Amjoli's sitting there biting on an apple, and she looks up and goes, "All right, so, I guess you four are married." Puts down the apple.
Yes, we're here to try to get a better understanding of what happened. What can you tell us?
Well, it's been, it was weird. I mean, let me show you guys. She walks around the kind of table and shows you guys over towards the glass. And as she's pointing it out, she points down towards the blood and goes, "Well, whenever it came through, it tore him up. I didn't really want to tell too much to the Bobbies and the rest of the officers. Didn't want them to know kind of what was going on. Wasn't smash grab, wasn't anything like that. It was some creature I'm not familiar with. Smashed up Dr. Neely. Jumped straight up through the window. I had been serving him, doing him, you know, as I do. They had asked for some food. They had been here for a little bit, speaking. I don't know exactly what was going on, but Dr. Neely and that officer were talking about something. And it wasn't about the normal, it was something that they were trying to keep quiet. And then suddenly, last night, the glass broke, shattered, and they jumped on Neely, and I don't know, I guess the officer, fought back.
And you saw this happen?
Indeed, yeah.
So, DM.
Mhm.
This, you said this is a CD place?
Kinda.
Does that mean I can insinuate or assume that I could use magic in front of her, or...
You could, make me a insight and a perception check.
Both?
Both.
Insight first. That's a 16.
Okay.
And then a perception check is 17.
Okay. Insight was just what you needed. So first of all, we'll do the perception. Before you're thinking to yourself about what to do, you look around the room, and does anybody have music, or is it just stopped for me?
No, the music's just, it goes between periods of loud and quiet, but I think it did just stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I got no sound bars.
Do, 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 do.
There we go. So, looking around the room before you kind of think to yourself, you look over the threshold of the main doorway, and you see a familiar sigil of the occult, marking this as a known place for it to be not necessarily open, but anybody who knows the sigil knows that it's generally good to go. And with the insight check, you know, generally with the way she was speaking about the creature and what had happened, she seems to know, you know, a bit more in terms of normal.
Right, well, would you, would you care to come with me and speak with me for a moment while my counterparts investigate the scene?
I'm sure I can do that. Is there anything else I can help you with before I go away with him?
Just a quick question. I know that the creature went after Dr. Neely first, but why is the officer in the coma and not Dr. Neely?
Well, after the creature had burst through the window and jumped on Dr. Neely, it only had it was more of a bite. He jumped down and bit down on him and left a little bit of a wound. You can see the blood right there, and she points it out, and it's on the back of the chair. But the officer was quick to respond. He jumped up and ripped the creature off of him and tried to fight it. But eventually, Dr. Neely stood up and both ran back behind the counter and got into the back room and hid. By the time we came out, the noise had stopped, the beast was gone, and he was there.
Assuming that this creature is not natural, what did it look like? Did it have extra hands, feet, eyes, ears?
Right, that's what I was trying to get, Chauncey. I'd just rather not do it in the open.
Sure.
If we'd like,
go
we
about
can
your wits and we'll
go to the
take a look
storage
around.
room. Of course.
If you know what I mean, and I'll gesture back to the little symbol,
Fol-
like, you know,
Candles.
symbol.
Follow me, sir. And she kind of gestures towards you, Cass.
All right, I'm just gonna ask her, can I use encode thoughts? Can I, would you mind sharing the memory, essentially?
Sure. You go ahead and you do so, and the memory explains just like that. The glass wall, the L wall, them two sitting there, you get about 5 or so minutes of memory before it gets kind of all abrupt and
Okay.
covered by adrenaline. So she was standing at the counter, and the beast had jumped through the window, and one singular swoop of movement jumped from darkness out of the window, through the window, onto Dr. Neely. No pouncing onto the table, and then directly through the glass onto the doctor. Reached down, kind of wrangled around, and what looks to be bit him, at which point the officer stood up, drew his billy stick, and just grabbed the beast, ripped it off, just went poof, and started trying to beat this thing.
Okay.
The beast kind of jumps back, and it pushes him back, and you see Dr. Neely kind of scramble away, and eventually run away as he runs directly towards Amjoli, and the two of them hide behind the counter. Last thing you seeing this officer in a battle with this creature and his ill-equipped stick.
Is there any visual on what the creature looks like?
It looks like a dark gray with heavy blue-gray eyes, almost
Okay.
resembling a gargoyle without wings. Large snout,
Okay.
kind of drooling down, and pounces on all fours.
Could I roll to see if I knew what that was?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
26.
Oof.
Okay. So, it's definitely a beast or a creature. It wasn't summoned, it was created. This is some sort of vessel or entity. It's almost like a feral instinct put into a creature.
So it's more so like, not so much a beast, rather kind of akin to like a construct almost. Where it's not a natural beast or being, it's something that was somehow created in some sort of way.
Correct.
Like an animated object.
All right. All right, I'll thank her. Thank you very much. And
Of course.
I'll
Do you
just-
have any idea what that thing could have been?
Well,
Hold on. And she runs behind the counter and she pulls out her notebook and she goes, I can trust you with this, right?
I don't see why not.
Is that a persuasion or deception check that you're making
I
there?
had to say persuasion. And, I'm a solid good at that with an 11.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know how much you know about what I do here, but I work with the occult and the dark,
Right, that's
and
why I
things
was
that
doing the
bump in the
symbol
dark.
thing. I realized that.
Of course. I don't know exactly what the beast was, and she starts flipping through her notes, and she goes, but I do have an idea, and she rips out a page, and she hands it to you, and what it says is moon presence. It is
Why don't
a
we
faint
continue this with the
kind of
rest of the
drawing.
group? I feel like I'd rather share this rather than, mouth to mouth. Why don't you just go straight to the source?
That's all right. She leads you back on through.
Okay.
She still handed you the paper. So
Okay.
as you walk back through, you kind of look at this paper, and it's a close depiction of what was there, but not exactly.
All right. I'll just convey that to the rest of the group. I'll say, well, I don't entirely know what it was, and she seems to believe in something, some sort of a moon presence. I'm not. What is a moon presence?
Well, I don't entirely know.
Then what would lead you to believe such a thing?
Well, I work with shady people, and a lot of spells require different types of components. Many things can't be done unless it's done under the shadow of the moon. Being that last night was a full moon, and this creature's eyes were glowing, and she points at the page and she says, as she reads out on the page, it says here, full moons of the moon presence eyes create the dawn. And in the drawing you see a heavy blue, silver, kind of gray eye matching the same of the beast. I don't know if it was the same one or if it's one beast, but it certainly looks like it. It matches the eye. It was a full moon. It came through. I don't know.
What has the
That's at
doctor
least
been
as
working
far as
on?
I don't really know. He comes here every now and then. It's more of this is his meeting place. This wasn't the first time he's met with this officer.
Team with the officer.
I'd like to investigate either while he did that, previously, just kind of see if there's any footprints leading out to see maybe we can discern where it ran off to, or in a
Yeah.
general direction.
And go ahead and roll an insight check.
Insight or
Sorry, investigation.
23.
23. So yeah, looking at the glass, to answer your previous question as well, it looks to be that it kind of lurked around the right side of the corner, under the bottom of the glass, and jumped through. After it had attacked and ran away, you do see small, faint prints of dark black blood. It is blood. It is still, clearly blood, but it is it's almost like it's been there for weeks already, even though the attack was last night. And it leads off directly straight across the street, and that's all you can see from there.
I'm gonna, whatever happens there, I'm following the tracks.
Okay. So following the tracks, it kind of goes down into the street and across into a darkened alley. You see the print kind of begin to sputter out, and eventually you see a larger pool of this dark black blood, and in it is a couple of torn pieces of clothing that looks like he might have swallowed and vomited it up or something. You see a long, dark, it was originally white, but now completely covered in black and soot and stuff like that. Seems like a sleeve as well as a hat. And then at that point, the trail ends.
Sending stone, we think, only goes to falafel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as you know.
Okay. Then I will gently gather the sleeve and hat. Maybe look at them to see if I can tell if they're from the doctor or from the cop.
Yeah, go ahead and roll another investigation check.
Not as great, only a 15.
That's okay. Looking through it, it's not male clothing. It seems to be a torn, the hat seems to be at least a torn brim and roundabout section of a bonnet, and the long kind of arm piece seems to be off of a nice kind of regal dress.
Was the doctor a woman?
No.
So they were both male. So the point
Yes.
being that they are not from this attack. And there's no signs of anything else up a wall, around a corner, loose.
It
brick.
seems to just kind of go maybe another
Cover.
10, 15 feet, and then it just ends. Heading towards the southwest.
Heading southwest. Okay. I assuming that the rain that is falling is starting to destroy this trail.
Yes and no. Like I said, this trail is already much decayed. Like it had
Okay.
been there for a while, even though it is clearly from, Amjola's Cafe. It's clearly coming from that direction. But like I said, it seems almost like the blood had dried up into a hard ichor after a while, almost like tar.
Okay. So I'm going to take a moment to do protection from good and evil.
Okay.
And then grab the sleeve and the cloak. Or
Cool.
the hat. I'm sorry, the sleeve and the hat. And just go back to the cafe
Yep.
and pass the word along about everything I saw.
While he's doing this, does anybody else want to talk to Amjola or investigate anything else here? It was
She
all
knows too much
a
about
little bit crazy.
what the doctor's been doing, so I don't know. I don't think it'll be helpful for me to try to get more information out of her.
I mean, I'll look around the area to see if I can see anything else
Yeah.
that sticks out, but
I will assist.
I feel like I've gotten pretty much everything out of that.
Okay.
Assistance.
Yeah.
That is a. I should have assisted you. A 14.
I just use my umbrella to like poke at things and try to shift them towards him to see if
Like-
they're in anything. Is this anything?
You said a 14?
Yeah.
You don't find much more out than what's in the clear. You do, however, find in the blood pile, which seems to be kind of like where this officer was pinned down and kind of ripped up a bit. A heavy set footprint in almost like a 3-set talon like that, like a paw almost.
Thank you. I never would have found that without your helpful umbrella.
Welcome. See, it was just there. You almost missed it.
Quite. Well, once Chauncey gets back, I believe we've seen
At
what
this
we can
point,
here.
Chelsea's coming back.
Well,
He's crossing the
Chauncey's
street.
already here, so I believe we've seen what we can.
Yes. Would anyone be able to recognize these clothes? They seem to have fallen with the pool in the track out that way down the southwest into the alley. There was a bigger pool there. No sign of the creature, but just what seems to be a lady's dress sleeve and a hat.
And all of us look at Eloise at the same time.
Just sigh, and I hang my umbrella on my arm and take the stuff. And do I recognize, like, if it's super fancy, would I know a lady in high standing who would wear something like this?
Go ahead and make a history check with disadvantage.
Ah, beans. Okay. History check, you said, right?
Yes.
So even at disadvantage, it's a 14.
Okay.
Not bad.
It's definitely high class. It's not, you know, a knockoff or something that you'd see, you know, your everyday lady walking around with. It's definitely a mark of standing, and on the cap, specifically on the back of the hat, there is a inscribed name. It seems to be like a craftsman, Von Newley.
Von Newley.
Share that name with the group. Do I know of that name? Is that like a super fancy tailor or something like
Yeah,
that? Okay. Well, whoever she was, or is, hopefully, definitely had quite expensive taste.
Well, I think the bigger question here is that if it wasn't just after Dr. Neely, that if it went after this lady as well, would it mean that it wasn't directed strictly for Dr. Neely?
Perhaps, or perhaps this was the lady in question.
I think someone transformed a lady into a monster.
Or perhaps it's something that she's able to do. You know us women folk and our secrets. Our
In your ways.
beauty types.
It was a full moon last night. Lord only knows what happens with you ladies in the moon.
You know us in all ways.
I'm more interested in that umbrella, but anyways, I feel like it would be prudent of us to head to the hospital now to see if we could figure out what is wrong with the officer. I have a feeling that we need to know what they were discussing before we go any further into this, and
Well, do you want to talk to the officer or Dr. Neely? He might be able to share more insight as to what we were dealing with than the man in the coma.
Right, but I generally work well with people who can't speak back. We can go either way. Either way will work. We'll get there eventually.
It would probably be best to go to the hospital last, because the later it is, the less people are going to be around.
Well, city-wise, Mr. DM, which one is closer? So we don't traipse all about.
It's about the same in reality, because
Right.
you're in the northeastern side of London. You're on the other side of the river, and everything else is kind of on the western side.
Okay. So we go see Dr. Neely?
Go see the doctor.
Sure.
Go get our carriage.
then.
All right, is Larry still there?
Jeeves.
Cheers.
Jeeves.
Is there anything you want to do, Ollie, or you're all good?
I think I'm all good here. I'm not good at talking.
All right. Jeeves is
Well,
still
great.
there.
Half of our party doesn't understand how to talk to people. This should be a very helpful.
Well, I know how to talk aggressively, but this didn't feel like a talk aggressively situation.
Well, I appreciate you keeping
Half
it under
the party.
wraps.
Wait, he's one. Who's the other?
What?
He said half the party doesn't know how to talk.
Yes, Mr. Magic Man over there, and then Mr. Silent Type.
Well, he talked.
He did talk a bit, but he just said that he prefers to work with people who don't talk back.
That doesn't
Which,
mean
by
I
the
don't
way,
know how
is
to
very
speak.
concerning.
That just Chauncey, I'm just as confused as you are. Women, am I right?
Women,
Anyways,
who knows? Their ways.
One of you
I'll
help me into
I'll
this
race you the
carriage.
carriage.
Chauncey, I believe that's
So
you.
as you guys
Chauncey.
walk towards the carriage, you
Where's
see
his feet? Go.
briefly nicknamed Jives. He
Jives.
Jives.
peeks out the curtain, and he sees you guys kind of walking over, and he jumps out the back of the carriage and holds the door open for you four as you four go ahead and
I do
step
offer a
on in.
hand to Eloise so she can step in.
Just
I'll
go
offer a
behind
hand to
you.
Ollie.
I'll take his hand. just to be mocking.
Oh my
Thank you, kind
goodness.
sir.
Shuts the door behind you for, and he kind of puts his arms up on the windowsill and goes, "So, what you know?"
Do you know Dr. Neely's house?
Nope.
That way, and I'll point to whatever direction it is.
You do so. So you guys go ahead and lead.
Do we have
on
like his
towards-
address and like the
Yeah, you
forms and
have it all in
files
the
and
folder.
stuff?
Yeah, so anyways, that way.
That way.
Onward,
Make haste,
guys.
my good man.
There was a sod agent outside though before you left, right?
Correct.
All right, cool. As I'm getting in the carriage, I'm just gonna minor illusion like a platinum nearest feet.
So as you're getting in the carriage, and you start to roll away, you see the officer, the Murd officer that was standing there with his arms crossed, looking next to the sod, and the Murd officer looks down and goes, and he starts to lean down.
The bird? No!
The Murd,
No!
as he starts to lean down, the sod officer looks over and sees him and goes, "What?" It dives down for it and tries to grab it first, and they get into a little bit of a kerfuffle as you ride away.
Guidance!
As they're kind of like standing there trying to grab it, it just pops away
Aw.
out of range.
On the
So-
way to the house, I'll explain to them what I learned, because I specifically didn't tell her what I knew, so I wanted to tell them in secrecy, just those four, about like the construct-esque kind of deal where it was something that was created, it wasn't something that was naturally made, or like a natural beast or creature.
It wasn't some from somewhere. It was made. That's distressing.
Right, so I'm not
Well, I
entirely
mean-
sure it was made, but it's not a natural creature that you would assume.
It's not just a wolf, I think is what we're getting at.
Right.
But you said it was almost gargoyle-esque. Did it look like it was made of stone or, material
Not
rather than flesh?
Stone per se, but more of just that texture almost. The skin itself had that sort of unnerving look. But maybe it has something to do with this moon presence that she had some sort of thought on, because, naturally you would think of that, right? I think that was odd in itself, but
It was very specific.
exactly.
Hmm.
Someone who does not know what happened, yet at the same time has a great understanding of whatever they thought it was. So,
Before we arrive at this doctor's house, on a scale of 1 to 10, based on what we know right now, how likely do you think that this man may lie to us?
this is why I prefer speaking with people who can't speak back.
I know.
Well, I have
just made.
ways around it, is why I ask.
I'm not good with numbers, but I would assume the most.
You're not good with numbers.
No, I'm
You're
good
not
with
good
numbers.
At talking to people.
I'm
What
good with
specifically
numbers. I'm being
are
a
you
smart
good at?
ass, Eloise. Jesus. I mean,
think
who's
he's good at-
Jesus? I don't know the gods in this world. Jerry!
I know, Bashaba's good.
Obama!
Thanks, Obama.
You're
Wait,
very welcome.
Ma
You've been sitting in the carriage with us the whole time.
I'm glad I could help. You
Well, I
are
had
very
a
welcome.
deity, but now I think I want to change.
Oh.
What were you going to ask, Chauncey?
No, I was just gonna say I think he's pretty good at magic.
Oh, him, not
Yes.
the doctor.
No,
Okay.
this fella here.
No, I think he's talking about me, and I'll look like him.
That as well.
Oh.
I think that.
Well, it-
Do we know what kind of doctor this man is? Is he a medical doctor or is he like a
I look at the notes.
smart doctor?
Looking at the notes,
Philosophy doctor.
he is a physicist.
Ah,
so not a. He's a physicist, like physics,
Mhm.
science doctor.
in 1840.
Mm-hmm.
Got
There
it.
we go.
Okay. Looney Tunes physics, let's go!
You don't
So
fall
you
until you
see,
look down.
the
Everybody
Earth is
remember
the
that.
center of the universe.
I'll put up a sign. Uh-oh! Not one for physics myself. I'm generally more of the arcane based, but
I mean, I know physics and how far my arrows go. That's
I know
about it.
fish sticks as well, Chauncey.
Fish sticks are very good.
I don't know.
Fish sticks
I
are
heard fish
believe.
sticks.
Oh my
You guys
God,
gonna stop
to
for
be
fish sticks on the
murdered.
way?
Chauncey and Eloise, looking through the
Yes.
documents, his note or his specific section does have the arcane marking as well. The occult marking.
Okay, gotcha.
So is this a cult marking like well known to everyone in the world, or is it just people that are in
Anybody-
the underground?
In the know.
Got it.
If
So
you
there's
know, you know.
so there's just this
It's
random
like-
symbol all around that if some normal person saw, they'd just be like,
You ever
"Wonder
heard
what
of
that is."
hobo code?
Got it. Okay, so it's like thieves can't. But
Thieves
Yeah.
can. It would have been and thieves can't, or like a
That's exactly what it
Masons
is.
or
It's
something
like,
like that, or like
yeah,
the
it's-
Illuminati, right?
thieves can't, like, very real thing. I don't know if you guys know that, but like very real thing. Like 3 strikes this way on a billboard means something different than 3 strikes horizontally, and it's like there's a whole language to
okay.
it. But it's just an overall kind of marking. It's like a almost like an R with a X, kind of in the back of it.
Like an RX, like a
Prescription?
prescription. Exactly.
Yeah,
so
almost like a
R and
prescription.
then-
Yeah, almost
so, like-
exactly. But the X is behind it.
We're not a physicist,
So-
not a doctor. Okay,
So not
jeez.
that.
Kinda. All right,
It's
so
just
eventually
Cthulhu's
you guys
face.
roll your way on through, and after not as long of a travel as it was from the headquarters, but a decent amount of travel, make your way to Dr. God, what's his first name? Yan.
Yeah.
Neely's. Dr. Yan Neely's house. Pulling up amongst the street, allow me to go ahead and move us over. Everybody see the map?
Yes.
It's a rough, fancy house this man's got.
Mhm.
Alright, you and you four are down by the carriage. Alright.
Ah.
Everybody sees everybody?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, as you guys go ahead and roll up towards the house, rain's still quite heavy at this point. Jelarvis or Jehevis in the front, or whatever you guys named him.
Jehovah's
Um,
Witness.
Jeeves.
Jehevis.
Yeah, well, if he's a
Jeeves.
witness, then I guess he would be
Um,
Jehovah's, right?
He's soaked. Like, he's got one of those triconed hats, and it's completely, just utterly soaked. And he stops, and he gets out and opens the door for you four, and goes, "Well, we're here. Welcome to, I guess you said one Dr. Neely's."
So what's the
Thank
play
you.
here? Do we just walk to the door? Do we want to sneak around?
I don't think there's any reason to sneak in.
I mean,
I'm sure he wants to know exactly what has happened as well.
so Jeeves can't see us right now, right? Or can't see me clearly?
Once you guys are out of the cart, and he kind of lets you guys out, and you guys stand out, he takes your place in the cart and gets dry.
I'll just make my face the form of the woman in the last place. It's like, I mean, we could try being tricky about it, but it doesn't change my voice.
I mean, I do have the ability to at least assist him in telling us the truth for about 10 minutes.
I have that too. I'll just pull out a gun. No.
might go
Now,
up
what did I
longer than 10
say
minutes.
about being rash with our weapons?
Oh, come on. I'm not allowed to have a little fun.
I'm sure there will be plenty of time for that at some point.
To be fair, I feel like you're getting less of an trouble with that than any of our other uses of, dealing with things.
Well, I say we start a conversation, and if it goes sideways, then we also go sideways.
Well, now hang on a minute.
I like
just
this
saying, we
plan.
start
It's
with the
simple, easy
conversation.
to remember.
I think we should remain with a conversation. There's no reason to get hostile.
I'm just saying, if he were to become hostile, or
Now,
we
why on
have,
earth would he become hostile?
who knows? I don't know.
Right,
this
well, why
man
don't we just
from
go find
Adam in
out
the street.
as I walk up to the door as this is happening.
So, you guys go ahead and make your way towards the door and knock on it. Takes a couple seconds, and heavy rain kind of continues to downpour on you, and eventually the door opens, and you see the face of one depicted, Dr. Neely, on the other side of the door. He goes and, can I help you?
We're here to ask you some questions about what happened at Anjoli's.
Oh,
Kind of
yes,
put the gun down. Just
Come right on in. I'm sorry for the abruptness. As you can assume, I'm a little unease right now. He leads you guys in, and directly in is a very beautiful foyer. So,
Music suggests that it's horrifying in here.
it's very dark music. It's
Why are all the paintings looking at me? Make them stop.
Why is
No,
there blood dripping
it's-
from the walls?
what's the doll collection you got there, Mr. Neely?
Whenever the
Oddly
music gets
enough-
scarier, I want to think that I slowly go from putting my hands in my pocket to slowly shifting towards
to the
gun.
gun. No paintings, but among the wall are hanged mantelpieces of hunt. There are elk and boar and large creatures, much more than just depicted on the map. There seems to be probably 20 to 30 different trophy pieces amongst the wall. He goes, thank you all for coming so quickly. Are you Murd or Sod?
First,
Mad.
Okay.
I may have forgotten
Interesting.
for just a moment.
interesting pieces you've got here. I'm quite the hunter myself.
Thank you. Most
Are
of
these
these
all
were-
local?
No. All across the globe. And as he kind of reaches out, he points out, and you see a huge elephant tusk kind of on the wall, and he goes, "Been everywhere."
Oh, is that all the way down in Africa?
Something like that.
Did it rain there? I hear they quite
Please
great
bless
down
the
there.
rain.
It's raining now, at
Right?
least.
I don't think our rain is quite as blessed as it is down there.
Apologies for being such a terrible host. Follow me. I'll lead you to the living room, and eventually he leads you to a doorway to the left side of the stairwell, and walking through is a very nice hallway. Innate kind of wallpaper, dark red and flower covered. It's a very nice home. It's what you'd expect from a high class family in this type of place. So
Looking
eventually-
around, are there any signs of like servants or maids or anything
ahead.
like that?
And roll a perception check.
And I would either
Whoop.
assist or also look for signs of family, children, wife, things of that nature.
Okay.
Can I assist?
Roll
in
with
that?
advantage if you'd like to assist.
Perception is 14.
Solid.
It's nice to be able to see.
In the faint quiet that's going on, your eyes do not help you, but your ears do, as you can hear the faint sound of multiple footprints above you on the second story. The large stairwell that splits off into a left, going off to what seems to be multiple bedrooms in an open foyer direction. As you come into the doorway to the left of the stairs, you see a kitchen to the left, and again, door shut, but peered just a bit open. You can hear what sounds to be people working. One or two people, maybe. So-
Sir, I know that you had just an absolutely horrific experience, but we are here to really get to the bottom of it and ask you some questions if you are willing to be a part of that.
Of course. Just right in here, we can take a seat. And he leads you on into the living room and takes a seat down on one of the smaller benches around the corner. And he goes, tea? Anyone?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Of course. Give me just one moment. And he walks away and comes on back with a tray of tea and such. And takes a seat down on his chair. So, please, ask away.
Well, before we do, protocol and all that for such things, you don't mind if I just make everything on a level playing field here, as it were. Making sure that just all the facts are straight as we ask our questions.
Do you mind
Completely up to you.
elaborating?
Oh, of course. And I take out my holy symbol. Say, just to make sure that there aren't any untruths being spoken. That's all. It is not going to force you to do anything you don't wish to do, but it will make sure that everything is nice and
perfectly
clear for us.
Fine. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Sure.
I just like to imagine she's holding up the holy symbol of Obama's like campaign slogan on her neck.
Dice bueno.
Persuasion 13.
He goes. He looks up at you and kind of goes. You can try as much as you like. Arcane in my household and the occult is a little strange. This house has been around for quite a while. Rumor says it's on cursed ground. But you can try.
Ah, it's a Native American burial ground.
Fantastic. Then with his permission, I will cast Zone of Truth around him.
Okay, what's the saving throw on that?
Charisma.
Okay. That one.
Nice.
All right, so for 10 minutes, he can't tell us a lie, but he is aware that the spell is happening.
But he doesn't have to answer.
He does not have to answer. He just can't answer untruthfully.
Kind of looks back at you and his eyes kind of widen as he fronts his shoulder for a second and goes, "Oh, well, okay. I'm actually surprised that worked. Go on. I'm more than happy to help."
Would anyone like to kick us off? It does not have to be me to ask the questions.
Anything to make sure Jonathan's fine.
Well, we'll start there. Who is Jonathan?
The man I was meeting with.
Ah, the officer. We've been told that it might have something to do with your research. What exactly are you researching?
I'm not really sure what my research would have to do with it. I'm researching gods and the possibility of gods. For a lack of better terms, I don't know how to explain it.
How does a physicist study gods?
Well, I'm not a normal physicist. I know of Murd and I know of Sod. I knew
You're
to
telling me
contact you
you're some sort of
immediately.
astrophysicist.
Sure, whatever that means.
Astral meaning space or
Oh,
expanse.
I'll write that one down. He takes out a notebook and writes down the word astral.
Okay. What god specifically are you investigating? Researching?
I don't know.
Okay.
What?
Are you researching the effects of gods or just their existence?
Exactly the prior. The effects of
The
God.
effects.
So,
okay.
not necessarily a god, but... Well,
Just general
you
god
foreknow
magic.
that the occult is real. Studying what is beyond our reach.
Okay. So are you studying the effect of the magics certain gods bestow to others? I believe
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
something. Okay. And have gods bestowed powers to you or Jonathan or perhaps
No.
anyone you may know?
No powers. No.
See.
Oof.
Has
Right.
anyone else approached you about your research?
Well, besides Jonathan, I don't know what he has told anyone else. Started a while ago. If the research really is key, we can start from the beginning of why I was meeting with Jonathan. And he kind of stands up for a second and walks over to one of his bookshelves and rifles through and pulls out a couple of journals. And he sits back down and starts going through. So, Jonathan had been reporting with Sod and the Crown to relay some of my insights and learnings directly back to the Queen herself. Again, I don't know what he said or told anybody else or how far that goes within Sod. But the reason we had first met about a month ago or so, me and one other had witnessed a entity-like creature amongst the stars. A great fish or jellyfish or something like that, swimming through the stars. And at this point,
Through the stars. I'm sorry to interrupt.
in the sky.
Skies.
Yes.
Was it corporeal? Could you see through it? Could you touch it?
It seemed solid.
Okay. Continue, please.
So, after seeing this, being intrigued as I was, I began to research it and see who else had seen this or heard of anything like this or so on. And I had come with I had found the connection of Jonathan, and he had come with the connection of Sod. So he had been relaying directly to the city and the guard and Sod and such my findings on what had been going on. Do you think Sod could have had him attacked for what he knew, or they were coming after me?
So, Jonathan was a member of Sod?
He was reporting to them, yes. I was...
But
when I,
why would you... Forgive me, why the need for the middleman? Why not go directly to Sod themselves?
no connections. Sod isn't a out-there organization. It's an acronymed organization of the Crown that is hidden. So you need to know someone to know someone. Just like Merd.
Hmm. And that's all you spoke of with Jonathan?
Indeed.
Do you happen to know Jonathan's contact with Insod?
I do not know.
Might be a question we can retrieve from Jonathan.
And you're sure that he was a member of Sod?
Yes.
Positive.
I mean, as far as I know,
You are 100%
go ahead
certain.
and everybody make me an insight check.
20.
Thingsies.
I got a natural 19, but I got 27 for total.
Jesus. Well, that's almost
I got a
22
20
for
total.
insight.
Everybody with your fire ass rolls can tell.
This is our job.
He doesn't really he didn't tell anything else more, and he's very kind of worried about what's going on. He doesn't know if it's Sod. He doesn't know. He's just stressed out.
Right, so back to my question. Can you with 100%
what
certainty,
exactly is the question?
can you with
Yes.
100% certainty say that he was from Sod?
As far as he knows, yes. He doesn't. You can see the uncertainty in him, but he's as far as he knows, he's not telling a deliberate lie.
Right, well, any reason that you were attacked, per se? Anything you can think of? Do you
Well-
know anything? Anything in your research? Anything prior to that?
Last week, Jonathan didn't meet. He had gone no-show. And I tried to reach him all week. And when the next day finally rolled around, and the next week finally rolled around, and we met, that was when we were attacked.
Did he tell you why he no-showed the week before?
No.
That's a bit odd, wouldn't you say?
It
Well-
is.
Well, let me ask it this way: when he showed up that second week after not showing up the week before, did he act different at all?
No.
Different
Exact same.
mannerisms, voice, speech patterns. Could he
All
have
the
been
same.
some sort of? I think what they called it was a shapeshifter.
As far as I know, all the same.
And what about any ladies involved in all of this? Did Jonathan have a wife? Girls? Do you have a wife? Girls?
I do have a wife and daughter, yes. But nobody else would have been involved, no, and Jonathan is alone as far as I know.
Is your wife home right now?
Indeed, yes, she is.
Do either of them shop at Von Nully's?
I believe they've been
Neely's?
there before. I think my wife has a few pieces, but many people do. Why?
Take out the bonnet and sleeve.
This was found at the scene of the crime, a little ways down.
I don't seem to recognize that at all.
I would like to
No.
insight check that just to see if it's because he could not identify one of his wife's clothing if he had been asked, or if he definitely has never seen her wear this before.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
I would like to assist in any way possible.
Go for it.
Oh, the other one was better. 19.
He just doesn't recognize it at all.
Well, I'm going to play my card again, if you all don't mind. Would you mind if you share your memory of that night?
Sure, if you like.
That's why I asked.
Are you able to project it so others can see it as well, or is it strictly to you?
I mean, I could share it on the ride back to wherever we're going next. It's a little bit of a 1 stop, 2 stop, 3 stop kind of. Not all at once, but yes, I can.
Red fish, blue fish kind of thing. Yes.
I've never seen a
Dr.
red fish before, but yes, can
No,
I?
you've never had snapper. It's
What
delicious.
about herring? Red herring is quite popular, especially in things like
Insight check. 22.
Before you do so, Dr. Neely, you seem a well-versed huntsman. Is this anything that you may have seen?
No. Yeah. As far as I could tell, at least from historical nature or fairy tales, looked like an imp, maybe. A
Great.
dog or a hound. I don't know. It was very
There are
bouncy, very
wide
sprawny.
variances. And just one last thing before my friend here does his thing. When you hunt, what do you hunt with? Bows?
No,
Guns?
no.
Darts?
I will show you, my friend. And he stands up, and as he does so, he turns around back towards the big cabinet, and he pulls out a big fucking elephant gun, like a 410, big ass, like the rounds like this
Like the
big, and he pulls out.
Silver Fudd kind of thing? Yeah.
Not even. Like it's taller than him. It's got 2 rounds, and he swings it around. And he just goes and totally sweeps everybody, and just is like this.
I'm just gonna look over at
what I
Ollie's.
Yeah, like Ollie. I
Just
believe
like
this-
side eye, just like
It takes a while, and it's not exactly easy to lift. And he swings back over and puts it down.
I believe that's what she said at one point. But
right.
my
Well,
friend-
memory time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
He walks
Chauncey,
over
please.
and sits down.
Yeah, I'll just do the same thing if he'll let me.
Yep, you do the same thing, and you get the same memory as almost the same vision, different perspective.
Yeah, the thing I specifically want to see is like the face.
Yep.
And I want to know if the like skin texture or like how it looked or the weight, like is there any way I could tell like how much it weighed or like what it looked like or like anything like that?
Make a
Steer it
investigation
snap.
check.
15?
15. Okay. So, firstly, before the kind of whole situation, the memory starts 30, 40 seconds before.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan's speaking to Neely, and he just is like, well, I'm not really sure if that would work, but go right on ahead. I'll let him know. And as that happens, Neely, you see through his eyes, he looks over, and you see kind of this faint glow of blue silver as the eyes kind of peer over, and you hear just a and then jumps through the glass onto him.
Okay.
It's a very blubbery creature. Almost
Blubbery.
like you know, like the texture of a seal, how it
Okay.
looks. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like rubbery and like coarse and like yeah, exactly. It's
Mhm.
very rubbery.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, really best way to describe it is like a gargoyle without wings.
I wouldn't have explained a gargoyle as rubbery, so that's a little bit different. But
Yeah.
okay. And how big was it in perspective to him?
Probably comes up to his chest.
So it's
But it
not.
walks on fours.
So it's like 5-ish feet.
Yeah, but it walks on fours.
Oh, so it's on 4 legs, 5
Yes.
feet. Jesus, that means
No. 5 feet standing up on 2. Walks on 4s.
Got it. Okay.
I got attacked by a bus.
Short-faced bear.
Now, are you describing this to any of us yet, or not yet?
I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. He saw it. It's nothing. I didn't learn anything new from this, so.
Can I make? So here's the thing. One of my favorite enemies are fiends and undead. So I'm gonna try to like see if I can realize it as a fiend.
Right. Well, before you do that, and I'll share the memory that I just had with him.
Shares the memory.
So now you have a perfect picture of what I saw.
Make a history check.
Swapping the leg.
That's intelligence, so I get advantage.
Yep.
Well, I asked because
You're proficient.
Well, I'm proficient, but
If it's your favorite enemy and you're trying to specifically figure out if it's a yes.
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
15.
It doesn't sound familiar. I mean, there's a lot of things in that category, but in the fiend category, they'd usually, have wings or reddish skin and kind of, pointed teeth and all that type of stuff, and a little bit more jittery and type of thing than what this type of beast was.
Do you mind if we look at your shoulder?
Oh, sure. And as you say that, he kind of pulls off this nice brown top coat, and you see it wrapped up is in kind of dark brownish bandages. He kind of shows off the bandage cover. Go on.
Check.
Pardon?
Medicine check.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Team.
16?
Or see if it's like poisoned or infected or something weird.
Doesn't seem to be infected or poisoned or anything. You kind of get up closer, and he says, yeah, and he removes part of the bandage and pulls it away, and it looks like a chunk was bitten out of his shoulder.
Does it look like it's
right
healing
here.
properly? Like, I know it was
Yeah.
only a day ago, but okay.
To a point, as well as a chunk
And then
from.
teeth marks?
They're more. It's more of a tear.
More like a rip. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm surprised you're walking. Honestly, that looks pretty nasty.
It was, but after we got away, Jolie popped me up. She had one of those fancy drinks. So, is there anything else I can help you with? My daughter's a little under the weather.
All of us. Wait a minute.
Gotta kill a child.
I'm gonna
Almost.
I'm
accurate.
gonna use my mind link. I can speak to people.
His mind bullets.
I'm gonna specifically. I think Chauncey, and I'll just telepathically say, just do me a favor and keep him busy for a moment, and then keep him ask about his daughter or something. Just give me a moment. Hopefully he'll distract him for a minute, and I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
So basically, I go back to asking about his animals and his hunts and try to bond with him to keep him distracted on that.
Okay.
I would hear the mind link, and I would, if I can.
You can respond to this message.
So I say.
Is Mind Link a spell?
No, it's an ability.
Okay.
It's from my class.
It's an ability, not a spell. In my respond back to the message, like, well, I do have Pass Without a Trace, but I don't know if that's going to work in here.
Well, honestly, we can speak if but right now it's just you and me quietly like looking at each other.
Yeah, be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on his.
If you can do it sneakily, I suppose, because essentially I'm trying to cast a spell sneakily, Chauncey. I'm trying to be a sneak.
I mean,
How's it working out for you?
Alright, so let's go ahead and you
so I
start
would-
talking to get a performance check.
Performance check?
Oh yeah.
Good thing Chauncey's got a big old whopping +0 to charisma.
Maybe the wrong choice.
Because he loves those hunting.
7.
Ah! Well, I mean, I'm
What do you
doing it
say?
anyways, so.
Well, what do you say first of all? Like, go ahead and talk.
Tell me more about your animals. I've never seen like this tusk here from Africa. That's amazing. How did you take down such a large animal?
Well, it was quite the adventure. This one was nicknamed Braun Dune. He goes into a story of how he took down an entire elephant with a large gun. So go ahead and
All right, so you got to give us at least something that you killed off
Yep.
my character.
Oh man! All right, what am I doing?
I found in a foreign land
so
called
this is
Oklahoma.
you said detect thoughts.
Yes,
Is this verbal, somatic?
it is all of the above. It's just
Okay.
why I'm trying to be sneaky about it.
It doesn't work. I would say make a sleight of hand check, but this is verbal. You know what? Make a stealth check with disadvantage.
Jonesy. Oh boy! I rolled a 1. Natural 2. Wait, no, 2. I rolled a 2.
So is there a saving throw to detect thoughts? What is it?
It is. Let me see. No, it just happens or doesn't.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it happens, but essentially, like,
Okay, what do you want
I
to know
gain
his
the-
most surface thoughts?
it's surface thoughts, and then if I go deeper, I can get like specifics.
Okay.
But he has to, if
Um,
I go deeper, he gets to make a wisdom save.
Surface thoughts. Running out of tea. This is going a while. Gotta check on my daughter. Oh, they want us to hear about my elephant? Yeah. I'll tell them a story about killing the elephant kill. That's the surface level thoughts.
Did he notice me doing it, or is he just really enamored with?
No, I
Chauncey?
mean he noticed you right away, but he doesn't really care because he knows that he's being interrogated.
I mean, I'll go deeper then. Make a wisdom save. Like,
Okay,
Let's crack open that skull.
there's gonna be an 18.
fuck.
Nope. Unfortunate. Kind of in the middle of the story as you cast a spell and you fall the booby and you cast your spell. He looks over. He's like, "So yeah, I took down this big elephant and he fell down. He started running at me and a beam of light came down." He just keeps telling the story. But really,
So you realize this is a murder investigation, correct?
He asked me. I'm so sorry. If you'd like, we could get back down to business or anything else.
Just a quick question. What's happened to your daughter?
I'm not sure. She's just come ill with some sort of fever the past couple of days.
Do you mind if I'm able to see her? I do have healing abilities. That's something that I've been blessed with.
By a god, I might add.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Also has a magical umbrella.
Not magical. I built it.
A fancy umbrella. Excuse me.
What was I doing?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
15.
I'm sorry. I'd rather not do that. You can meet her if you'd like. It's just right now we're trying to keep things as a natural remedy.
Insight.
Same.
Insight check.
Insight.
Insight for what, though?
Why he wants? Is he trying to be sneaky, or is he just like, you know?
I mean, he still can't lie.
We're vaccine free in this
So-
household. Like, which
I agree. So it's like weird that he won't let us heal her, but would allow us to meet her.
Yes.
That's a total of 20 for me.
Yeah,
16.
it's better than me. I got a 14.
Did you roll, Ollie?
Nah.
Ollie's just looking at that gun.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
really
get
am
my
trying to
car.
figure out how do I steal it. It's like 5 feet long. How do I? It won't even fit in the cart, but there's got to be a way.
No, he's just worried about his daughter. From what you can tell, he doesn't know what's wrong with her. He came down with a fever, and he doesn't seem to be protective anyway. And he seems pretty stalwart behind the attitude of staying away from magic and keeping it natural remedy.
Hmm.
Like I said before, magic here doesn't always work very well.
Well, for me so far.
Fair.
So, doctor,
Maybe-
can you? I was distracted by your gun for a time, but did you? Where'd you get? No, focus. Are you familiar with something called the moon presence?
I think no. Jolie said that last night after the attack. She said that was possibly what it was.
And do you know anything more about that than she would?
Not anything about a moon presence, no.
You know, did I ever roll for what a moon presence is? Would I know what it is?
Make a. What do you want to roll?
A
What do you wanna
moon
think?
presence?
Are you thinking of it in the arcane sense, in the religious sense, in
Religious sense.
the historical sense, religious sense? Go ahead and make a religion check.
Screw it, I got no idea. That's
I want to try to do
20,
one on the history.
22.
You want to do one as well?
Yeah, I'll do one on the history since he did. Religion.
Okay.
I got a 7.
You did. What did you do, Lee?
22 on religion.
Presences from different gods and entities are known, much like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a
avatar?
Almost. Yeah. It's almost like an avatar, if that makes sense. You've never necessarily heard of moon presence, but you've heard of, like a corporeal presence or an astral presence, for example, or
Okay.
a fiend presence, which is, things you've heard of, but it's like I said, it's more of like a mindset or an entity, an emotion into a
Right.
unit.
Right. Are you aware of any other attacks that have happened similar to this?
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, when he had arrived, not him being the beast, he had blood on him already. And thinking about back in the memory, he did indeed have blood on the creature already.
And roughly what time did this occur?
10 p.m.
Hmm.
Well, if that's all, is there any other parting wisdom? Believe your spell is about to end.
What was your daughter's name?
Oh, Lila.
And your wife's name?
Rosella.
And how long ago did Lila come down with her sickness?
2 days or so. 1, 2, probably about 3 days. It's been getting progressively worse.
And what has Rosella done to assist?
Natural remedies. Such herbs.
Said
MJ
magic
only
doesn't-
wants to help, but she
You said
wants to
magic
use
doesn't
more
work
of it.
well in this house. Would you take her to a doctor or perhaps outside the house for a magical remedy?
Possibly. Today, at least, it's been consistent. So, if
We do
anything were to get worse, we would go directly to the hospital, yes.
Our next step is the hospital. If you'd like to have us escort her there, we certainly could.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Sure.
Can fix her right now.
13.
Damn it, Posey, not now. Just leave the child. We got other stuff to do.
I could just
Thank
misty
you.
step and grab her. And
This child is mine now. We've adopted her.
Thank you for your offer, truly.
I mean,
But I'll make sure she's okay. If there's any issues, we'll be sure to get to the hospital.
I'm just saying we have options.
Yes, do reach out if she worsens at any point.
Right.
Of course.
I
you.
where do you conduct your research? As one last question, do you do that here in the house, or do you have?
Indeed, yes. Upstairs.
And this fish deity that you saw in the sky, was it a fish, a jellyfish? Did it have tentacles? Was it more of a?
Tentacles, yes. Wisps, almost, like off the side of a catfish, but along its entire body.
Right, so
Like
you do
where?
your investigations and your research of magic in a house that magic does not necessarily work
Well,
properly.
That's not necessarily magic. It's part of the natural world. It was there physically. And in a house where magic
But this is here
doesn't
physically, and I'll make my
necessarily
little
work.
spell book appear in my hand. This is also here physically.
True.
But I don't know.
But
Does it appear in my hand? I don't know.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Anything that's lower than a cantrip or lower is fine.
Things lower than a cantrip?
I don't know if I forgot it, whatever. And to think, researching, like you said, if it is magic in a home where magic is sometimes inert, might be good for any negligent backfires.
Did your daughter go anywhere to get sick? Does she go to school? Does she visit a
Not that
neighbor?
I'm aware. Not that I
Anything
could
attack
think.
her? Bites? Marks?
No. Nothing like that.
She
Insight check.
Insight check.
16.
Seems to be telling the truth. No bites, no marks, nothing like that. She hasn't gone off her on her own. She hasn't been attacked. She just seems to be sick.
Right. Well, are we wasting our time on a common cold here?
And thank you, really, for all of your concern, but I think matters at hand are much greater. I'd like to see Jonathan get through this, possibly. Could you all let me know how he's doing when you leave the hospital?
Well, assuming you're going there pretty soon, you can probably find out for yourself.
I mean, I hope I don't have to go there.
Well, for your daughter.
We thank you for your time and for the tea.
Thank you very much.
Well, did we want to meet his daughter, or are we just going?
She's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're leaving, yeah?
Unless
Thank you,
anyone
Mom.
has anything else that they want to do. Or
I
ask.
just want to try to either think about or understand the fish creature.
Can I tell what room his daughter's is from what we've seen of the house?
From downstairs, it doesn't seem like any of the rooms down here.
All right.
You want to think about the fish creature? What do you mean?
Just try to identify it. Like, would I know it as a kind of fish or a deity of sort? Like,
Go ahead and make a history check.
15. The nature boy.
There are rumors of things like fish and things like that in the sky. You know, the great fish that swims through. It sounds very, very faint and familiar to you. Best way to depict it is basically like a catfish, just with tentacles amongst the whole body. But other than that, you can't really depict anything else out. However, you have possibly heard of it before, you're not sure. Anybody else?
Are we leaving?
Are we outside? Are we?
Yeah.
So, as you guys go ahead and lead your way out, he leads you out the door, and Chauncey and Eloise, you kind of see with your passive perception, peeking over one of the railings, a blonde-haired girl with a sniffly nose, just looking over, and as you guys look up and see her, she just peeks back over, and you hear running away. You exit,
Direction
and
did she run? Like, can I
So-
tell, like, north, south, east, west?
by the stair railing,
Mhm.
down and to the right.
Down and to the right. Okay.
Alright, so you guys all make it back to your cart by Jeeves and Drubus.
While we're outside, I'll just mention to Posey, because I've forgotten the new character's name already.
Eloise.
Eloise.
Eloise, if you know where her room is, I can get us in there. If you want to try something, but
I wasn't thinking about getting in, but looking around the outside, see if there's any traces of blood or footprints or something around there.
all right.
Go investigate.
Alright, so before we go ahead and do that, I think we can go ahead and call it a break.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Okay.
Break.
I don't trust the shit out of that guy.
Back where we left off. You guys wanted to look around or leave?
We're leaving. And I'm just talking about all these guys. I don't trust that guy for shit.
Well-
Me and Shady Big Shaderton are gonna go investigate the side of the house.
I'm gonna need you to narrow that down because there's a lot of shady.
So,
Me and Ollie.
Eloise
Yeah.
and Ollie are going to investigate around the house.
Before you do, just come here quickly. Huddle up. Pass without
Smacked
a
in the
trace.
face.
Oh, nice.
Does
So you
Does the
have
house
to
have
be
any
within 30
windows?
feet of pass without a trace to keep it up, just so you know.
Come with him.
does the house have any windows?
It does. So if you look at the layout, there are 4 windows in the front, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. And on the right side, as well as on the left side, there are windows mirrored. Ones on the left just aren't there because there's an inlay going through them.
Okay.
So, looking around the property, past the street, there is a long strip of grass, and then a gate that was open and is still open, and then a graveled/grass path that leads to the front of the door. Looking around to the left and right of the establishment, you see large.
Rich, your microphone.
What?
It was buzzing. You see large.
Yeah, I know. I just turned the fan.
Stone walls with black iron pieces at the top of it that come to a piece, completely encapsulating the home in a 360 degrees. For all sakes, you're covered from the street. What would you like to do?
I'll investigate the the side of the house that should overlook the room that the little girl ran to.
Okay. And your health thing?
If there's any footprints or blood or anything like that.
Ollie, you're helping? Or are you going on your own? Rich.
I'm going with them
Okay.
because we just did the pass without trace.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, if you're all past, then I'm going with him.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Four.
Nice.
You see a brick wall, and you look to your left, and you see a brick wall, and you look to your right. You're in the corner of the fence, looking at the walls. You don't see much. There doesn't really seem to be any indication of footprints or anybody going through this direction here, at least in the bottom section over here.
Or is there any like blood or scratch marks in the walls or anything like that?
Not that you can see, no. If somebody else would like to make an investigation check, I'll allow one more.
My investigation is not that good.
I'll
Mine
make
is
it.
0.
I'll do mine +6. Only a 13, so I didn't really. Yeah, I know 7s.
You don't really see anything. Looking around, no footprints besides what's in, the main path going to the doorway. There is a set of footprints that seem to be clear that go around the left side of the house, but it seems like a pretty average traveled path, kind of beaten down, so it's not really anything of much interest.
This is a 2-story house?
Correct.
Can we see in the windows on the second story, or we can't see?
Not from where you're at, no.
Okay.
If we need to get into the house, we can get into the house.
I don't know that we need to get in. I was just interested if there was anything super apparent that would lead us to believe that there might be more here than what we're really trying to pry into, but otherwise there isn't really no other reason other than pure suspicion that there's anything else going on here. At least
God.
possibly connected to what's currently happening.
What did I do?
I would like to just kind of go up and lean on the house and just try to use disguise self, like nonchalantly, like folded arms with looking at one of my hands and just shifting it to look at like other things to see if magic actually doesn't work here.
Disguise self works just fine.
All right.
Is the map visible for you guys, or did I break it?
It's broken.
Broke it.
Alright, that's fine. Oh,
Whoa.
jeez.
The DM took the map. Wait, it's time to leave.
Do we want to try the magic in the house?
Try what?
Magic in the house.
I did.
Well, I meant like a heavier magic. Like
What zone of truth? Level 1?
second or third.
2?
Stone of Truth, I think, is a level 1 spell.
Level.
You should have had to roll on it. I just forgot.
Okay, because Detect Thoughts was level 2 as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This music is banging. Hold on.
It's
Let me switch
bonkers,
it,
dude.
though.
Wow.
Let's investigate this old man.
Yeah, we're not
No,
going
let's
that
kill
hard
this
yet.
old man. That's the right music for it.
Glory kill. No,
Anyways.
getting that health back.
So, Ollie kind of goes up to this wall and changes what they look like, and you discuss. What are you gonna do?
Well, I can get up to the second floor if you need be.
I can too, but to what end?
I'm just
Do you
putting
think
it
it's
out there if y'all need it.
Well, do you think it's worthwhile to get back into the house to look at his research? Maybe take a peek at what he's been doing.
Well, we don't know where specifically his
Office.
office is. Yes.
I mean, I'd guess the basement, but that's where all creepy things occur.
It
I'm-
might not be the best time to do something like that, as we know that everyone is currently home, and it is not actually that late.
I'm gonna go ahead and fly up to the second story window and look in the girls' room.
All right. Well, he's off.
Well,
You guys do also recall that he did say he does his research upstairs.
But I have passed without a trace, and I'm
Yep.
also gonna cast invisibility. There's no fucking way. There's no way.
Make a stealth check with advantage. I'd give you a double advantage if I could.
Wait, do I need advantage? Pass without a trace
Yeah.
just gives me
Plus 10.
Plus
plus
10.
10, so there's invisibility
Plus
gives me advantage.
invisibility.
So
Yeah.
there's no double advantage. But if I could get
No,
it,
but I'm
Is
saying
invisibility
I would if I could.
Is invisibility concentration?
okay, so the first one was a 5.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that was a 15, so that's a 25, so 26.
All right, yeah, no problem. He says that, and he just disappears, and he's gone. What, you float up to the girl's window?
I mean, I'm gonna go from window to window to see if I can see anything in there.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have you make 3 perception checks then.
Fuck, I should have done this for someone else.
I should have guided you.
I should have guided myself. That's a 15 for one.
Okay.
That's a 18 for a second.
Okay.
Okay, and a 15 for the third.
Go, you're fine. You're
So,
fine.
flying around, you're just fine. You peek in the window and you look into the girl's room, and it's a little bit darker in there. There isn't any candlelight or any sort of light going on in there, but you do see her back in her bed, kind of flipping through a notebook. It's a very nice child's bedroom for what you'd expect for the time period. You know, nice blankets, big kind of fluffy teddy bear with ears and such. Nothing crazy. Everything seems to be about the same. What you'd expect. You fly over to the north side of the house, and you look into the research chamber above. And it's got, you know, large vials with things in it. It's got large stacks of notebooks, and you float there for a little bit, and you eventually actually see Dr. Neely walk into the lab and go and start doing his thing.
Said he was gonna go see his little girl. Did I see the little girl in the other room?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
She was on her bed. You guys have been out here for like 5 minutes already, though. So you see him walk into the lab, and he picks up a book and puts it down on the table, and you see him start flipping through it. And go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Oh, goddamn. Oh, 19. Wow,
Okay.
I rolled good as a player, dude. Okay.
So luckily, this window is pretty close to the table that he's reading at. The book is on his research of the worm, or the fish, or the whatever you call it.
Right, the jellyfish.
And
god
you
in the
see
sky.
in heavy capital letters underlined Leviathan.
Great. Okay.
You just pack up. We're gonna move. Find a way to outer space. I don't know. Not here.
Below, you see faint research notes. On the front page, it says Leviathan with a drawing of it, and it depicts a pretty good image of how he explained it large worm fish-like creature with tentacles kind of dripping and wisping past it as it floats by. You see him quickly flip through some notes, and he's going through and he's reading, and it's in a language you can't comprehend.
What languages do I speak? What languages are they? Is it like a language? Like, is it a language that is like an actual language, or is it a
All
language?
D&D languages go in this.
So no language would help me here.
What do you got?
I could comprehend languages.
You would stop flying.
No, I wouldn't. They're my boots. I would stop being
Ah,
invisible.
True.
I'm gonna oh. I'm gonna mind link to.
Do it, you won't.
Perfect. That's all I needed. I was gonna mind link to Ollie anyways, because he'd be the one to give me the answer I wanted. I guess I'll cast it, and I'm gonna ritually cast it for one action because I can do that.
Okay.
But now I'm no longer invisible.
Still
Actually,
takes
wait.
concentration.
No, it doesn't.
Comprehend languages?
It's not concentration. It just lasts for an hour.
Hmm.
Nice.
Maybe
okay.
detect magic is concentration. I don't remember. Something like that is. Nonetheless, there you go. If it doesn't have the C next to it, then
It just
good to
has the
go.
ritual, so it's just a ritual spell, so it's not concentration.
Never mind then. You take a moment, and the words kind of flutter, and you see the letters kind of flip together, and they read out in a very gibberish written out tone. And as he's kind of flipping through the journal more, you see it get more and more and more chaotic as he goes through the journal. And he comes down to the end, and in big bold letters at the top you see, not big bold letters, sorry. At the top in regular kind of print, it reads out, "The poll is done. The link is complete. See if it works."
Okay.
And below that, you now see him frantically drawing. Go ahead and make me another investigation check with advantage.
I'm just
try
gonna
to tell what
mind
he's
link
drawing.
to like once to everybody and be like, "Yo, guys, this guy's going fucking nuts up here. I don't know what's going on." What am I rolling?
Investigation with advantage.
Thank God, because that was a 1. 15.
He's drawing all of you.
Ooh, that's not good, guys. That's not good. Okay.
Beans.
So,
Well, I'm glad we
this
came
all
here.
happens, and eventually you see him and close the book, and he puts it away, and he goes over to a window, and you see him drag over a big telescope, and as it's becoming darker, he peeks over through a telescope, and he looks up at the window you're in, invisible. He's like, peeks back at it, like, what? And eventually you float away, and he looks back at us. He sees just
I'll just
fine.
wave invisibly and float back down.
And for the last perception check, you see the master bedroom, and you see his wife getting all kind of not dressed up, but dressed down for the night and relaxing. Nothing crazy. Nightgown and reading a book by.
Just quick point of clarification. When he was scribbling down like a sketch of us,
Mm-hmm.
was it like creepy? Like, was that like unnatural feeling? Or was it just like him like doodling us?
Make an insight check.
Did I get an uncomfortable feeling from this drawing, or is he just an
Yes.
artist? 16.
Weird dude.
I am. We're floating back
I
up.
mean, you don't really know.
I'm going back down. We gotta go. We gotta go. Just let's go.
What, are we going in?
Nope, we're leaving to the hospital now.
Should
All
If
right.
you want to see it, I can show it to you in the cart.
All right, sure.
we could break in and get the drawing.
Do you want to break in and get the drawing?
I'm just asking if you think it's bad, like if it's like he's going to do something to our souls or something, and we want to get the drawing and destroy it before he has the chance.
And he could just make another drawing.
From my interpretation of magics like that, it generally requires something from us, not just a simple drawing of us.
Like someone that drank tea that would have left spittle behind.
Possibly.
Or
I
hairs
mean,
off of our head that were in the carpets.
They're
it's up
saying
to
we
you.
should
Do you?
storm his...
I can go back up and try to do it, or we can just storm the house. Whatever.
I'm simply asking. I mean, I know some magics, but they're mostly related to nature.
Well,
You're the magic-y boy here, and if you don't think it's that bad, then we can wait and see.
I mean, do we want that journal?
That's also a good point. Eloise, you are the voice of reason here. Again, everywhere we go, you are the voice of reason, Kate.
Just the role I fall naturally into.
Not a no.
Chauncey has a point with the whole spit and things. I'm sure there's some sort of strange things that can happen with that. However, I'm not entirely capable or sure of that, so...
I think... Oh, I almost went full posy there. Oops. I think... I think regardless of whichever path that we decide to choose with this, it would be better suited to, if we need to retrieve that journal, to do it when it is darkest and everyone is asleep. Instead of right now, where the majority of the household is still very much awake and alert, especially right after we've left.
Well, if the music gives me anything for concern, we should probably do it later.
We should leave immediately to the
Absolutely.
hospital.
Absolutely fine. I mean, I have plenty of ways in, but I can only do it once a day.
I will make it very clear to everyone right now that if there is going to be a break-in, I will not be involved. Not because I don't want to be, but because it will royally mess everything up.
Which is fair. We don't want to, I guess, alert the common folk.
We wouldn't want to ruffle your umbrella.
It is
Well.
rule number one, after all.
What?
Don't alert the common folk.
There you go.
So, to the hospital and then back here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? Off we go! That way,
So-
Jeeves!
I didn't know when was a good part to interrupt you, but that's perfect. As you go, so to the hospital, you hear, "Hey, who's got the storm? Hey, hey!"
Oh, god damn. I think Chauncey has that.
Hello,
Oh,
who's got the storm? Hey, put that.
hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Lower your voice, please. You're quite
Yo,
loud.
yeah.
Just muffle it with your hands.
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing out there?
Doing quite well. We've found a number of leads and got some information. We're about to head to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Something you
Yeah,
got
okay.
to tell us about the hospital.
Yeah, don't go to the hospital. The office is gone.
Fuck!
Oh no!
I knew it! Why?
Wait, like,
And where, pray tell, did the officer go?
I'm not entirely sure. He was talking to some side member. We you know.
The one that was in a coma was talking to a side member.
Well,
Wait a
apparently
minute.
he woke up.
Oh, you're saying he physically is gone?
Oh,
thought you
yes,
were saying
yes.
that the
Yeah,
poor
no,
man
no.
passed
The
on.
officer, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he woke up and apparently he left.
Right. Everyone, we need to leave now before I yell very loudly into this rock.
Well, don't yell at the rock. Apparently he's going back to Jolene's.
Jolene's.
Jolene.
You are going
Jolene.
full Posey. God dang it.
Oh man, that's on the other side of town.
So he's going back to Angeles.
Jolene's.
Jolie's.
Jolie's.
Is it Angeles?
It's
Jolie's. Angeles.
It's
Angeles.
AIM. Her first name is AIM. Last
AIM.
name is Jolie's.
Aim Jolene's.
Oh.
That makes so much more sense.
Well, I was spelling it like Angeles, like ANJOAN.
AIM Jolie's.
But now it's just Jolene's.
Jolene's.
Jolie's. Yes. No.
Okay, so what's he doing going back to?
Fuck if I know. Hell if I know. Like I said, he was talking to some sod guy. Sod thought it would be important to tell us because they knew we were investigating. Apparently, he went off in a rush. It was in a big burst.
Perfoff, what you doing, really?
I mean, and second off, we're on the other side
I
of
don't
town.
know, man.
How long is he going to be there?
Well, he's apparently left about an hour ago from the hospital. If you leave now, you're probably... Well, where are you exactly?
Well, we're outside of Dr. Neely's house.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably about a half hour behind him.
When he left an hour ago, so we're at...
The
The hospital's on the other side of town.
Let's go.
It would take him a while to get there. Listen, just if you were gonna go see him anyways, this way he's going. Thought I'd let you guys know. He woke up pretty fast, surprisingly. So he didn't really seem like he wanted to stay. The sod members, like I said, he was pretty rough with wanting to get out.
Raw.
I bang on the top of the carriage. Back to where we came. On the double.
Okay. Sure, whatever you say.
Well, we're going to head back to Ames now, apparently.
When you say rough, what's he mean?
Yeah, can you define what he meant by rough? When he was
You
rough?
mean punching, stabbing, shooting?
The first one, it pushing like a lot, like, you know, get out of my way, you can't keep me here type of rough.
So, like he was after something.
I don't know. It could be. I'm not the detectives here.
Which sod member was it? Do we know? Could we talk to them?
If you want, you can come back to HQ. They might
That's all
still
they
be
decide.
here. I could try to grab them.
Well, see if you
But
can
they're,
grab
I mean, they're on their way out. They're gone, God. Like, I'd have to go on the streets and be like, hey, you know.
I mean,
Cass is literally doing this right now.
we are
Just like
writing
rubbing
while
his
we're talking.
temples.
Just to make that clear, we're writing as we
Yeah.
have this conversation. Yeah.
Ollie's just gonna be
alright.
checking his gun, like, yep, still loaded. Just okay, yep. Here we go.
Okey-dokey. Anybody got anything else for falafel here?
Listen, whatever happens, just go figure it out. Why he's going back there, he's got a reason. Maybe he knows what happened, or maybe he needs to talk to Jolie and wants to find the doctor there. Who knows? It's not like he knows where the doctor lived.
Well, the doctor's at home now. We witnessed that. I guess
Anything suspicious out there?
Oh, plenty,
Yeah, you!
actually.
Any reason why you think he'd be going to there instead of the doctor's?
Well, we did find some ladies' clothing at the crime scene. Perhaps there was a lady involved. Did he have any lady acquaintances?
Not that I know of. Like I said, I never got to meet the guy.
Well, his name is John, or Jonathan.
All right. Well, Jonathan's gone.
Cool.
Chauncey, hang up the phone. Hang up the phone.
Anyways, good luck. Figure out what he's doing there. Make sure everything's all. Good luck.
Alright.
How did this man become a dispatcher for murder? He doesn't
What's
even
it,
know the
detective?
name of the officer.
He's literally in charge of all of us. I think we should be taking his job.
I mean, we could.
I think we need to do that after this.
I
Get a
agree.
promotion or something.
Good lord.
I don't know. I just want them to shelled some more cash so I can get more reagents. Run low.
All right. So you guys go ahead and make your way. Is there anything you'd like to discuss on your way there?
Probably just vent about how stupid falafel is.
So how much you want to bet that notebook's gonna somehow be destroyed before we can get to it?
Well, if he said something about the link, and we just got the communication that the officer had woken up. Do you think
Did he
there's any
just write
correlation?
that?
It was fresh. It was at the end of the journal, last page, and he was now drawing below it, as if he was putting in a new.
I mean, we didn't spend an hour there. He could have wrote that before we got there, because he's been woken up about an hour, right?
They're probably about 20, 30 minutes.
So he could have wrote that before we got there, or after the guy woke up.
Something shady going on.
Did his link happen to say anything about a portal?
No, but it had a poll. Perhaps your god Obama would be interested.
Oh,
He does pull well in the Midwest.
Hmm.
As you guys go ahead and make your way, at this point it is becoming much darker. It's probably about 7, 8 p.m. And the rain is heavy. It's heavy clouds and such. And carriage driver rides up to the same spot down the street and stops, and you guys get out and walk your way towards Jolie.
Quick question. Before we leave,
Yeah.
how far is Jolene's from Dr. Bitch Boy's house?
About 40 minutes.
Well, like a distance-wise?
15 miles, 20 miles.
Oof.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, probably about 10 miles, because it would take you about an hour to walk there.
Right, so before, like, probably right as we're leaving, I'll, ask you all, I do have a way of getting in there magically. Not me per se, but visually seeing what's in that research room.
all right. Can you
Like
do that undetected?
Well, it entirely depends. It's
Well, to give you a little secret, I can. Oh, why did I turn?
secret.
Secret. Anyway, I can actually jump into the ethereal plane and just walk right through the wall, walk up to the house, and just read anything I want to. I can't really interact without coming out of said plane, but it would give us at least a direct in.
My way is more of a, I don't want to say covert, but it wouldn't put one of us in danger per se. It's more of like an arcane eye that I can send to look into that room. It's invisible, but it is magical. If he had any sort of truth about the magic in that house not working, potentially might not work, but is it worth a shot?
I mean, if it's going to be invisible, then yes, I would say yes.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure why I flew up and did that myself. I could have just done this first.
But you can't. Can you move it?
I can move it. It lasts for about an hour. And it can be as far away from me, so we can continue going and I can continue with the eye.
All right. Sounds like a pretty good plan.
If we ever need to get back in, I can do my plan as well, and I'm quite sneaky. Get back out.
All right. So I guess while we're on our way to Jolene's,
So you guys are walking, you're about a block and a half away from Jolene.
well, we're in the
We're in the car.
part going to Jolene's, which is when I would want to cast a spell.
Okay,
before
okay, you want to do this before?
Yeah, before we leave, because
Yeah,
I'd spend the
go
time
ahead.
as we're going to look around.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'd cast Arcane Eye, and essentially it's an invisible eye that can pass through, like, a 1-inch gap, and it's invisible. And I can see with dark vision for 30 feet in every direction.
So you would have to have done. Wait. Can you put it anywhere?
Yeah, I can cast it anywhere within 30 feet, but it doesn't matter how far away I am. It just
Okay,
lasts
and
for
where
an
are you
hour.
putting this?
At the doctor's house.
Oh, you're doing this before you would have left.
Yeah, that was my point. We're in the cart talking about
Okay.
what we're doing.
Yeah, you would have left it there. It stays
Exactly. It stays there.
there?
I can.
Okay.
It's think about like Posey's Find Familiar. You can see through the eyes. Only I can control where the eye goes.
Got it. Yeah, I'm reading it now. Okay, up to an hour, so you'd have about 20, maybe 30 minutes or so when you get there.
Well, I'd just be doing it for the amount of time it takes to get there.
Well, I mean, it lasts an entire hour, so.
Yeah.
Do you want to look through it?
Fuck yeah! I want to look in that research room.
Okay.
I don't trust that shit.
It opens up, and as you open your eyes, the arcane eye opens, and you look around. Go ahead and make me another investigation check.
I think it's just gonna follow the dude around for the whole time we're there. Would you say an investigation or perception?
Investigation.
That's only a 10, I think. Yeah.
Only a 10?
Yeah.
So, do you have it in one position, or you have it moving right now?
I mean, I'm just gonna I'm literally, my plan is to just have it follow around Mr. Doctor Man and see if he does anything creepy.
So, for a while, it floats around behind him and into the laboratory, and it focuses on him just fine and has no issue as it floats around. But as he walks over towards one side of the laboratory, the eye's focus goes and kind of gets pulled to a heavy blue orb in the corner of the room. And it locks onto it, but as he, walks away and begins to walk away and gets further away from it, it regains focus back onto him.
Got
Seems
it.
to be
So
a
it was like a
proximity
magnet
thing.
almost kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, right now, where he is and the positioning he's been hanging out, it's locked on. You're not getting much of a view, unfortunately.
Did I see that when I was looking in the window?
Not from your perspective, no.
Okay. Alright, well.
It's like up in the corner of the room on top of a bookshelf.
Can I make an Arcana check to see what that might be?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
22, 23.
It's definitely some sort of magical negate. That's probably what he was talking about when he said magic doesn't work here.
What a piece of shit. He planned it all along! He's got something to hide. We have to go back.
So, you guys are on your way, and eventually you make it there, and you're stopped there as you're talking about this, or kind of, going through this. Kind of taps on the side of the carriage, and he's just waiting on you guys.
Alright. Told you so. Okay, so what are we doing?
We're gonna go see if the police officer is here.
Right. The miraculously recovering police officer.
Yes.
Be careful,
Let's
though.
go.
According to Chauncey and Falafel, he said he was aggressive.
Well, then we'll just have to be more aggressive.
And based upon the timeline of what I saw in the journal, I don't know what that may... Yes, aggression. Perfect. Ollie, have fun. Have at it.
Alright.
Not right away. Let's
You guys
wait
go ahead
until
and-
the head opens.
You guys go ahead and step out of the carriage, and Jeeves Garbus is sitting there, and he goes,
My
"Hey,
favorite character. Jeeves
how
Gordon
long
Corbus.
do you think y'all are going to be doing this? It's getting a little late, and I mean, I am here all day. I'm be more than happy to serve you all again, but I got to get going soon."
Well, I suppose if you're able to hang around for half hour more,
All right, I can do that.
just possibly get us to one more stop after this.
That
I
works
could
with
pay you a
me.
little extra if necessary.
Listen, you paid me for the day. We're fine. Just do as you need. All right. Have fun. He
Thanks,
takes your place
Jesus,
back in the
Jorvis,
carriage.
Jorbis.
So you guys go on and make your way up the same familiar streetway and turn the corner. Looking around the glassway, the Murd and the Sod agent don't seem to be out there. At the time of night, there isn't really anybody on the street anyways. It's pretty empty. Looking in through the windows before you all enter, there is no signs of Am Jolie at the front desk or in the main room of the store.
Do we want to be sneaky again?
Possibly.
That's up to you.
I'd like to cast Locate Creature
Okay.
for Mr. Jonathan, the police officer.
Can you do it with just a name? Or do you need to know what they look like? You can?
Describe or name a creature.
Okay.
John the policeman. Very descriptive.
Well,
did you
since I've seen
ever-
a picture of him
Yeah.
and I know his name, then I can do that.
Oh yeah,
you,
we saw the body pictures.
You do not get any presence of one John officer
Fucking John
Within
officer.
1,000 feet of me.
within 1,000 feet of you.
Right, he did say he would be here, correct?
That is what the magic man told us through the stone.
Fucking falafel. Alright, well, Chauncey, you may want to make us a little bit sneakier. I don't know if I trust all of this.
New map. From what you guys can see, that's what you guys can see on the map.
I
right now.
really don't trust this now.
It's dark.
Pass without a trace again.
Pass without a trace. There
Uh,
it goes.
Who is also, who is not good at stealth? Guidance buddies?
Guidance buddies.
I'll cast guidance on, Eloise. And give
Okay.
her,
I'll
yeah.
also cast guidance on myself. Just kidding.
Fuck you.
Listen, I'm
All
gonna
right.
need all the help that I can get.
So you guys are standing outside the window, looking in.
All right, we going in?
Oh, actually, if I cast guidance, then I no longer have locate creature. But I guess it doesn't matter because he's not within 1,000.
I mean, I'd rather keep your locate creature, maybe.
Okay, I'll keep that.
Honestly, maybe he's just a different creature entirely, but who knows?
All right, we're going to attempt to sneak in, I suppose.
Okay. Let me get a stealth check from everybody, please.
Like,
7.
I didn't hear either of you guys repeat that.
27.
27.
That was a 14 plus 3 plus 10. Is pass.
Kate.
5.
Wait,
With pass
you
without
got
a
a
trace.
D4
You're gonna
and
have
you
pass
got
without a
pass without a trace.
Pass without a trace, so you get 5.
All right, so 15.
15.
You rolled
Okay.
a 1? Or what'd you
Okay.
roll? A 2?
And I got
Lee?
3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I rolled a 3, so that's 16 for me.
Okay.
Okay,
Lee?
I rolled a 23.
Yours
How'd
was
you
a
roll 23?
15, Kate?
15, yes.
Okay.
Because I got a 12 plus 10 is 22,
Plus
plus my 1, which is 23.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys sneak on in to the inside of Eloise, or not Eloise.
Ollie just
Am
kicks
Jo-
your umbrella
Am
cane.
Jolie's brochure.
It's weird when I'm like crouching down to sneak, you hear a lot of like metal and jingling coming from me.
Oh, jeez.
Keys. Many keys.
Oh, man.
It
Chelsea
sounds
just
like
looks
many
over
keys.
like,
It sounds like many keys.
Could you not? Could you keep your keys to yourself?
If I could, I would have.
So,
And then
sneaking
Chauncey
inside. Moments after saying, "Could you keep your keys to yourself?" you hear a heavy footfall and the ching 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 of metal shake. No noise though. It is very quiet in here. And as you guys make your way about, go ahead and move as you like.
Fuck.
I mean, yeah, we're going until we can see something, right?
I will move
So
open it as you can see.
This feels weird, so I'm just gonna have the gun out and ready.
Yep, same. I've got my
You do
short
so.
bow out already.
I've got my umbrella out.
I'm gonna. What did you roll, Posey, for stealth? Or sorry, Eloise for stealth.
15.
I think I'm gonna cast invisibility on both Eloise and Ollie.
Okay,
All right.
you do so.
Just you know,
Does guidance require concentration?
she already used it. It's a one-time gig.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Invisibility does, but now you guys are now invisible.
Woo.
Oh, I don't like that.
So, while you guys poke around, eventually going deeper into the kind of store, finding your familiar ways around in the darkness, can I go ahead and get an investigation check from everybody?
Natural 20, so it'd be a 26.
Okay.
18.
16.
Nice.
Apparently get invisibility as well.
Ollie, what'd you roll?
A 1.
1. All right.
I'm too enamored with my own gun.
So we had a natural 20 and
18 to 16.
18. Okay. So. Jesus. Going through the rest of the store, you don't really find any sign of life, if you will, in the front end of the store. To the
Where
point where you guys have completely, searched the place.
Where'd the claim come from?
That was Posey.
Oh, that was
Eloise.
Posey
That was
or Eloise.
Eloise.
Oh, nuts. Oh.
Hey, we've been playing for over a year. Shut up.
You always
It takes us a bit.
um,
Eloise. So looking around, Chauncey, as you kind of poke around, you go around the side of the cabinet and you find her notebook.
cabinet like
M.
that.
Jolie, behind the counter, yeah, right there. You find her notebook, and you begin to rifle through it, and you see the torn out page of the beast that she drew to show you guys. And as you're kind of reading through this and just skipping through it, really, you and who rolled the 18?
I did.
You can hear just a faint type of
Okay.
coming through the other side of the door, and as that kind of goes through, you hear a heavy bang.
I believe we found it.
Well, I suppose we should
Deal with this.
deal with that.
Going in first. Call not it.
Not it.
I mean,
Alright, send
only
the lady with the
Chauncey and I
umbrella.
are visible, and I am a wizard with 11 armor clads.
I can
But
also
I
go.
believe in you.
I
No,
could go in.
I'll go in first.
Actually send the invisible one in. Great.
Yeah, I'll go in and take a look.
So the closer you get to the door, once you get up towards the door and you kind of listen, you can hear like wet, just like
Oh,
Like,
it's eating something. No,
disturbing
Jolene!
sound.
no.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, probably. No, Asafka.
What do you do?
Asafka?
Which way is the door? Is it over here?
Door is right here.
Right.
Oh, it's not doing it.
See you pinging.
Right here.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought.
All right. So you stand at the door, invisible.
Oh, where's that door? Okay. I'm moving up too.
Just like a.
We didn't need a whole 10 seconds of that, but
All you hear.
I didn't say
It's good.
stop.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm still invisible, so I'll try and quietly open the door.
Okay. Make a stealth check with advantage.
and +10, baby.
Holy shit.
All right, so I got an 18, so that's 28, so that's 32.
Okay.
You open the door incredibly stealthily and quietly. Without making yet a noise, the door opens up. No squeaky in sight. You peek open as the door begins to crack, and it's faint, but immediately you can smell, the heavy iron of blood and fresh blood. As the door opens, peeking through, light barely going through, you there see long red hair strewn across the ground in a pool of blood as the door opens more to Jolie's dead body and a large, gray, lanky motherfucker with many eyes and tendrils coming off of his arms, wisping in the wind, feeding on Jolie.
Thank you.
Has it detected me yet?
It has not.
I want to try and get a vial of her blood.
Right
You know?
now?
I think
Oh,
right
when will
here
there be a better time?
is a great time to call it for this one.
Right now? You choose to do this?
I
Right
am
here.
invisible and I have passed without a trace. There will not be a better time. It has to be within
What
24
about after
hours.
we kill it?
Well, then that's not helpful anymore. I need this to fight it.
Okay, that makes more sense. Kind of, I guess.
It's a reagent. It's very specific about the requirements.
I can give you my whatever. Okay.
No, you don't want to. You need to be dead.
Oh.
Anyways, I guess that was the first episodes of Witnesses Between the Veil. Woo! Good luck, guys.
I think you
Only
mean
gonna get fucking weirder from here.
I think you mean Bèhold this crit.
Well, this mini-series is Between the Veil on the Bèhold the Crit channels. Discount D&D, everybody.
Hey.
Dude, I need that blood.
But again, shout out to Syrinscape for the music. Really cool stuff. We changed things up a little bit today. I had to do the recording on my end, so it's not as good as when David does it, but I did my best. So Syrinscape.com/?4nerds. Fantastic site, fantastic software, super cool stuff. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Things will happen. Bye.
Only gonna get more fucked up from here.